inning.
We run, we're up against the world. How long till we get to where we mean to go?
This is what we've been waiting for.
Can you feel the light?
Opening night in the National Hockey League, and are we excited about it?
We both see it coming.
Here we go. What a stop! Unbelievable. That is insane. A lacrosse goal. Michael scores. What a goal!
We're up against the world.
This one's over. Kane with the overtime winner. Oh my God! Absolutely dazzling. Are you kidding me? How in the world? One of the most incredible goals I've ever seen. Sherry Scott! Sensational! You gotta love these moments.
Fresh off their opening night win yesterday against the rival Maple Leafs, the Canadiens are taking their act on the road to Boston to meet another Original Six foe in the Bruins. And it will be a memorable night for that young man, 21-year-old Oliver Kapanen, putting in that rookie lap as he's getting set to make his NHL debut this evening. While Cole Caulfield picked up the 150th point of his young career yesterday, he scored the only goal in last night's win, his first regular season game donning that number 13 in honor of his hero, Johnny Gaudreau. And with that, we welcome you to Molson Canadiens Hockey here on TSN. I'm your host, Laura Dykin, joined alongside Carlo Coliacovo. We are ready to kick off this brand new season here on TSN. Speaking of kicking off the season, couldn't have started any better for the Canadiens yesterday.
It couldn't have. I mean, at home with the electricity of the Bell Center and doing it in Shadow fashion where Samuel Montembeault was the story. And what a game for him to set the tone for the season, because you had people coming into the season not really predicting Montreal to take a next step or have that great season. But it's amazing what great goaltending can do for you. And for that statement that Samuel Montembeault made yesterday, 48 saves, could do wonders for this Montreal Canadiens season. And they got off to a great note. They've got to turn the page quickly here, because that was a lot of energy that they exerted yesterday. They got to find a way to bounce back and bring that same effort tonight.
And we'll have plenty more on the power play finally breaking through yesterday as well in just a second. But first things first, it's off to Boston, where we find Brian Mudryk and Frankie Corrado, who will have the call of tonight's game against the Bruins.
Laura, last season, the Montreal Canadiens were involved in 44 one-goal games, and that led the National Hockey League. And last night, they win a close one by a single goal. And we chatted with Martin St. Louis earlier today, and I asked him, is that something you have to learn to be involved in those type of games? And he kind of came back to yes, but it also factors in on team defense.
And team defense has been one of the biggest priorities right from the first day of training camp. Marty St. Louis said that D-zone coverage was going to be an area that they talked about. So what changes? The philosophy doesn't necessarily change for this group, but the execution and the details is what matters the most. And as this team continues to take a step forward, the details that a coach is going to hammer home, chances are a lot of those details are defensive details. So if this D-zone coverage looks better this year, it's going to look better because there's more help out there. There's more of attention to detail, to blocking shots, to getting your sticks in the lanes. It's not going to feel like there's one player fighting a one-on-one battle, and if you lose that battle, there's a chance going to the front of the net. And Montembeault played great last game. But the Canadiens did a good job of, yes, blocking shots, but making sure that the Leafs' chances were to the outside and the goaltender could see things. And your fail-safe is going to be everyone collapsing at the front of the net. So there's your details. You get a win in Game 1. Now it's time to keep those details going.
Boston, home opener, they're always tough. They are 13-0-1 versus Montreal in the last 14 games. Laura.
We mentioned it off the top of the show. A new face in the lineup tonight. Oliver Kapanen was selected in the second round of the 2021 draft, coming off an impressive camp with the team, and he'll take the place of Emil Heineman tonight. The only change to the lines made by Martin St. Louis, but yes, he did switch up his goaltenders, going with Caden Primo now in the second game of the back-to-back. And yes, Montembeault did steal the show yesterday, but how about that power play after going 0 for 30 in the preseason? What did you notice about that group that perhaps gives some optimism as the season goes on?
Laura, I talked about how goaltending can change the outcome of your season, but so can your special teams, and more importantly, including power play. Look at Montreal's power play the last couple of years, and you're the bottom of the league. So after 0 for 30 to start the preseason, these are two adjustments that I noticed. A face-off play right away. It's a play, quick plays, quick passes. You're generating a shot towards the net. That one didn't work the first time. Let's go to the other side. Win a clean face-off, take it to the middle, draw it to the flank. It's a quick down-low play, and now Caulfield buries it. This is something that Montreal has to do a lot more of, especially off of clean face-offs, because when they get set up, they're a little passive, they're a little perimeter. They have to find a way to generate more chances, and off of clean face-offs, that's an early chance to get everybody going to power play, and it worked last night. Want to see more of that as the season goes on.
For what it's worth, the Bruins 6 for 6 on the PK in their opening game Tuesday against the defending champs. A game Jim Montgomery said the team looked slow the entire game. The Canadiens kick off the road portion of their schedule next.
To you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it.
Tonight's starting goaltenders are both making their regular season debuts. Homecoming of sorts for Cayden Primo, who went to Northeastern in Boston. He made 23 appearances with Montreal last season. And then there's Jeremy Swayman, the $66 million man, signed that new sparkling contract on Sunday. He's the clear number 1 in Boston now. Speaking of Boston, let's get you there where we find Brian and Frankie.
Laura, welcome inside TD Garden on this Thursday night. Great to be back. Molson Canadiens hockey on TSN. And Jeremy Swayman is back. He signs the contract. The Bruins' 4th-round pick in 2017. He is now the guy as he signs an 8-year, $66 million extension. So he gets to start tonight. What a story last night. Carlo talked about him. Samuel Montembeault, outstanding for Martin St. Louis. But tonight it will be Cayden Primo, who starred about 15 minutes away. He played at Northeastern University. He gets to start against Montreal native Jim Montgomery behind the bench. They're coming off a tough loss. Their opener was Tuesday at Florida. The Panthers unveiling the Stanley Cup banner. Bruins losing that one. Game 2 for them. Game 2 for Montreal. Our first game of the season underway. And there is Cayden Primo. He'll play the puck to the near side. Intended for Slafkovsky. Getting after it, Kaiden Guhle, as he loses the puck. Right in front, shot right on as the captain, Brad Marchand. And some pushing and shoving. Geekie in front, looking for a rebound. Coyle enters the fray, but a good early save from Cayden Primo.
I have a feeling this is going to be a theme all night for the Boston Bruins. They got ran out of the building on Tuesday in Florida, so you're going to see a push from them. Nick Suzuki's a little late to get some help for Kaiden Guhle as this puck makes its way to the slot, and Brad Marchand gets a shot on Cayden Primo. He gets tested early, and Cayden Primo, whose confidence grew last year after the trade for Jake Allen going to the New Jersey Devils, makes his first stop of the season.
Marchand, Coyle, Geekie up front for Boston. They win the draw. Another wrist shot right on, and Primo, 2 good stops again. Early pressure. And a penalty coming up. So the Boston Bruins on the power play, not even 30 seconds into this contest.
Cayden Primo's got his first penalty of the season, getting involved in the game early on. And a penalty kill that struggled last year for the Canadians, 76.5%. Did a great job in game 1 last night against the Maple Leafs, and Brad Marchand is to the side of the net. Primo impedes his path just enough to take a penalty, and Boston looking to get on the board early.
The goal scorer from last night, Cole Caulfield, will serve that penalty. He's in the box, as Boston did have a power play goal on Tuesday. It was Pastrnak. In the loss, they were 1 for 4. And off the draw, it's Pastrnak. A high rip off the glass, picked up by Zacha. Up for Pastrnak. He's with McAvoy at the blue line. McAvoy with a puck. Pop pass. Marchand plays pass. And up top, McAvoy really shot up high and hit a body. Just went wide as Anderson trying to get there into the corner. McAvoy again plays pass. Sends it across. Pastrnak tried to seam that through, and a good stick there by the veteran, David Savard. What a start. These key parts of the game are presented by Napa Auto Parts.
The Canadians have to match the energy from last night at the Bell Center, match the energy of the Bruins, who got smoked on Tuesday and now have their home opener. And for Boston, have to be cleaner on their breakouts. Their D were sloppy breaking out the puck, and that allowed Florida to spend a lot of time in the offensive zone.
The 28th, Elias Lindholm, Christian Dvorak. Lindholm waved out as Lindholm and Zadorov time with Vancouver, and now Boston Bruins. And another win for Boston. McAvoy across, one-time bomb, and Pastrnak right on. He was second in the National Hockey League last year in shots on goal, and he's firing early. Caden Gooley, good clear up that right side for Montreal, and that allows them to get a change in.
Jake Evans this morning was talking about the penalty kill and why it was successful against Toronto. He talked about them being connected and all on the same page, understanding when to apply the pressure as a four-man unit.
4 for 4 on the PK last night in their home opener versus Toronto. That big 1-0 win where Montembeault 48 save shutout. Boston controls. Back up top, Pastrnak. They'll dish it across. Pastrnak. McAvoy. They'll switch up positions. Pastrnak gets it back. He'll wait. Pastrnak across. Lindholm goes down low. Wanted Marchand. Goes right through him. Marchand in the corner. Under some duress. Yoel Armia trying to get to the puck. And that deflects out of play behind Caden Primo. Not even 2 minutes into this first period. Shots 3-0 Boston. 32 seconds left in the minor penalty to the goalie Primo.
And a good recovery by Caden Gooley there as he goes from the corner out to the front of the net to get a stick on that puck. And get a look at Oliver Kapanen, who is signed with Timrå in the SHL, and his coach there is Olli Jokinen. Earlier in the summer, he was talking about how he's a great offensive player, but the thing that's really going to help him excel at the NHL level is how smart of a player he is and how many different situations you can put him in.
His uncle Sammy Kapanen, former NHL great, is Trent Frederick. He'll send that across, up top. That drive, score! Lindholm, a ball from the blue line, power play goal, and Hampus Lindholm has made it 1-0.
Caden Primo got turned around in his crease here. There's a little bit of contact with Justin Brazeau as this puck is approaching the net. It's good puck movement by the Bruins right off the faceoff, just like they did on their first power play attempt. The shot's coming to the net quickly, but as it comes there, Brazeau makes contact with Primo's stick. And we'll see what the officials decide here, but for me, Primo gets turned around because of Brazeau. He's not able to make that save.
Montreal is challenging for goaltender interference.
Referees tonight, Wes McCauley and Michael Markovic.
This is a worthwhile challenge. Primo's not out of his crease. He's well within his own ice, and it's Brazeau who skates into him. We're going to get a better look at it, but Primo's established his ice. Brazeau skates into him. Now he's not able to make the save he's supposed to make. It seems like this should be coming back. Seems pretty textbook goaltender interference. Brazeau wasn't pushed into him. This one should be fairly straightforward. I would be surprised if this didn't come back.
Hampus Lindholm last year, 3 goals, 26 points in 73 games for Boston. Had an assist in the opener. It would be his first goal of the season, second power play goal for Boston, as it looks like we have a decision. Wes McCauley with the call.
After reviewing the play, it was determined that there was goaltender interference. Therefore, no goal.
Martin St. Louis, good challenge, and Frankie Corrado is 1-0.
Thank you, Brian. We're a team. We're a team up here. And I think for Marty, you give credit to the video crew in your own dressing room who's signaling onto the bench, but a good challenge. And the Boston faithful is going to let you hear it.
It is such a great atmosphere. We talked to Brendan Gallagher earlier today just about last night at the Bell Center, and that vibe, the electricity in the building, no one does it better than Montreal, how special that was. And another look here in the replay, I think it's a pretty clear-cut case.
Yeah, he's not pushed into Primo. Primo's established his ice. He's not 5 feet out of the blue paint. So now Montreal remains on the penalty kill.
Jake Evans talked about it as well earlier today about surviving another team's home opener night. Getting through that first 5 minutes, trying to get some ozone time. So far, it's been all Boston, but maybe they can build off a good penalty kill here. There's David Savard. 4 games shy now of 800 for his NHL career. Geekie sends it across. He'll get it back. Morgan Geekie delays across and a good strong stick. Nice defensive play. Matheson poked away from Frederick. Brazeau into the corner, digs the puck free. Back up top, that wrist shot now is knocked down. Good job, Dvorak, and Caulfield's out of the box. Cole Caulfield racing after it. Hildship had the lone goal on the power play last night, and wearing number 13 this year in honor of his hero that gone way too soon in Johnny Gaudreau. Here comes Kirby Dach. Dach tried to tuck that to the forehand, get the shot away. Picked up by Newhook. Up to the point. Arbor Jacki shot. Never found its way through, and that one stung Kastelik. He blocked it, and he's hobbling right now. Kirby Dach, far boards. He'll walk it in, shoots. Try to go up high, and after signing that contract, remember, no preseason. Swayman yet to get a touch other than warm-up as we approach, about 4 minutes nearly into this game.
The puck just took a weird deflection off the glass in the Boston zone. It did that in Montreal zone as well earlier this period. This is one of the buildings that still has the old school stanchions in, so this arena is prone to having some weird bounces when the puck gets up in the glass.
Here's the captain, Nick Suzuki. Flips it up to center. Cole Caulfield with Slafkovsky, just missed him. You know, Suzuki last night drew a couple of key penalties in that second period. Captain with a solid game. Points leader for Montreal and career highs for him across the board, goals and points. Pastrnak over the line, drops Lindholm. Pastrnak couldn't get the return feed clean. Pastrnak, Elias Lindholm. He'll dish up top. Wotherspoon towards the net, a bit of a screen, and Caden Primo fighting through the bodies, able to squeeze it. So Cole Caulfield, after the passing of Johnny Gaudreau, he had this soon after on his Instagram, always my hero. They played together at the World Hockey Championship in Czechia. That's the goal last night, and after, a point to the heavens in honor of his hero, Johnny Gaudreau, and Viz from the Worlds. They played together in the pool in Ostrava in Czechia. They got to play together. It was Johnny Hockey's last tournament for the United States, and my goodness, so many players across the NHL. Their condolences to Johnny and Matthew and the entire family.
And for someone like Cole Caulfield, to see Johnny come into the league, do what he did, have the success that he had, that gives you belief as the type of player that Cole Caulfield is, that you can do it as well. And well, he's been great for it right from the moment he stepped in the league, and he's seen someone do it similar to him.
Justin Barron back in his own zone. Puck up high, just missed Gallagher, deflects out of play.
So Boston makes a couple changes on the blue line tonight. Parker Wotherspoon comes into the lineup. He's playing on a third pair with Andrew Peeke. Wotherspoon's a good puck mover. Nikita Zadorov moves up to play with Charlie McAvoy. And Lorite comes out, and Carlo plays with Hampus Lindholm. So now you have a puck mover on every pair. And that was one of the biggest issues they had on Tuesday, getting out of their own zone clean. They weren't great on breakouts. They're trying to spread around the puck movement on the back end.
Riley Tufte also in for Jones. Up front for Jim Montgomery. A couple changes. And of course, Swayman gets his first start since signing the new deal. Wotherspoon, he heads back. Evans on the forecheck with Gallagher. Here's Marchand. Watched by Josh Anderson. Bruins will swat it in. In comes Charlie Coyle. First there is Lane Hudson. Caden Gooley in his own zone. He'll get it back from Evans. Montreal can't clear clean, but this time they will, led by Evans. Jake Evans over the blue line with Gallagher. Nice little move. Evans delays. Anderson, space in front. Trying to get it to Hudson, who found himself with a little space in the slot. Hudson from a knee tries to center. Anderson up top. That drive, and Gallagher just missed the tip in front of Swayman. Montreal still trying to record their first shot. 5 minutes into this first period.
Well, this is one of the biggest teams in the league, and they are the heaviest team in the league, and a lot of that height is on the back end for Boston. Charlie McAvoy's the shortest guy at 6'1". After that, you have 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", and 6'6". Now, it's great to have all that size, and it's all we talk about in the playoffs. You also have to be able to move the puck, and that's going to be the challenge for this six-man unit.
Laura mentioned it off the top, the rookie laugh. Oliver Kapanen out there. Great rookie lap, something he'll remember. Tried to set up Dvorak. Kapanen and Barré-Boulet down low. There's Kapanen. Dvorak and a weak shot. And the first save there for Swayman. Kapanen back to work. Him and Dvorak. Good job. Christian Dvorak in the corner. Barré-Boulet up top. Xhekaj. Arbor Xhekaj. Takes a look and he'll dump it in deep. Wotherspoon there. He lost it. Dvorak. Kapanen. Trying to get that pass through. Good little shift there for Oliver Kapanen in his NHL debut tonight at TD Garden.
Now, one of the things that stood out to me with Kapanen in the preseason, he's good with his stick. He's good in small areas, making crafty little passes. And when you can do that in tight spaces in the NHL, that's how you kind of create offense. Not everything's going to be free-flowing.
Lane Hudson. He'll dish it in down low as Doc heads towards the net. Alex Newhook takes a look. He'll shovel it in. There's McAvoy. Checked by Armia. Here's Frederick. Brazeau, wrist shot. And hit a leg, just went wide. Puck available and picked up by Riley Tufte. He's a big body, 6'6". That shot, Brazeau, a good screen in front. Cooley from the knee. Pokes it away in the halves, able to clear. Well, Jake Evans talked about it. Try survive the first 5 minutes, get some Ozo time. And so far, 0-0 game. Shots 4-1 Boston.
Oh, that's exactly the objective in a game like tonight where you're playing a back-to-back and the team you're playing has been sitting here waiting for you. There's an offensive zone shift for Oliver Kapanen, and he's a slender player. He's still young. He's going to grow into his size, but learning how to get body positioning and get to the net is going to be a challenge for him as he goes up against NHL defensemen.
Lindholm, Pasternak, Zacha up front for Boston. 47 goals last year for Pasternak, and there's a turnover. Kirby Dach trying to speed in. Dach, Zadorov closed him off, got back in time. There's McAvoy to help. And a penalty coming up, a hold, so that speed and the big body of Kirby Dach will put Montreal on the power play. 13:24 left here in this first period. Zadorov to the box, Montreal power play when we return to Massachusetts.
Kirby Dach jumps on a misplayed puck by Charlie McAvoy. Has some speed going down the ice, and as Nikita Zadorov tries to recover to get back and negate his chance, gets the hand in twice on Dach. So it's Boston to the box, Montreal to the power play, and we heard Carlo talking about it in the pregame about Montreal's power play last night against Toronto. It looked like it had a plan. Both units right off the face-off trying to execute something. It's nice to see that from a power play that was 17.5% last season.
And there you see the numbers. Boston always strong overall last season, 7th ranked penalty kill for the Bruins. And when you had Ullmark and Swayman for the last couple of years, I mean, really solid goaltending. And now it's on Swayman to carry the load. Him and Korpisalo, the tandem here in Boston. Here's Matheson. Wanted Dach, just missed him, and Boston will send that down the ice. Zacha had a short-handed goal for Boston back on Tuesday in that loss to the Panthers. Pass to the left side. There is the goal scorer from last night on the power play. Cole Caulfield on his 150th points and another game winner for Cole Caulfield. 16th game-winning goal of his young career as Matheson. Great job as he holds the line. Well done by number 8. Matheson at the blue line for Montreal. He'll shift it over. Dach, wrist shot. Slafkovsky there with Caulfield. Juraj Slafkovsky. Again, Matheson holds it in. He'll walk the line. Matheson, little dish. Kirby Dach across. Caulfield waiting. Wrist shot, and Swayman saw it. He'll swallow that in the crests. As Dach an assist last night, as did Slafkovsky on that power play goal, and Cole Caulfield always a threat wherever he is on the ice.
Well, and having Kirby Dach on this power play makes such a difference as far as puck distribution goes, but it's a different look that Montreal throws at the Maple Leafs last night, where it's 2 players up top, 3 players down low. If you can find ways to get different looks, it throws the penalty kill off.
Second unit out, and Lane Hudson out there for Montreal. A lot of buzz for him in the preseason, and him starting up with a big club to start this NHL campaign. Gallagher from a knee, tripped up, back on his feet, up top. There's Hudson towards the net, but he gave it away and picked off by Boston. Hudson, Gallagher got to get back. Nice little Craig move. McAvoy through the crease, had Lindholm, and he couldn't get his stick on it in time. Good chance, shorthanded, and Hudson the other way. Trying to break through. And Zacha the backhand in, so a good rush there, shorthanded from Boston. Marchand, big hit there on Newhook, lined him up right at the blue line. That gets the crowd into it. Here's Gallagher. Habs will set it up. Armia towards the net, tip, score! The tip in front, Brendan Gallagher, power play goal, and Montreal's got the lead 1-0.
You're not expecting to get hit in open ice on the power play when the other team is on the penalty kill. But Brad Marchand lays a big hit on Alex Newhook in the neutral zone. But that means that Marchand is a little late getting to where he needs to get to in the offensive zone. So as Cole Hudson follows up on this play, he does a really nice job of shaking off his check. A little problem solving through the middle of the ice. And then it's Gallagher and Armia that are able to 2-on-1 Brandon Carlo right at the front of the net. Gallagher did a great job making the play right through the middle to set this whole thing up. He goes to the front of the net, and he gets his first of the season.
Gallagher loves playing Boston. He talked about the rivalry now. 27 points in 41 career games. And back-to-back power play goals for the Montreal Canadiens. So a good sign for this club and Martin St. Louis. 1-0 Montreal, and on the move is Kapanen. Good speed. He'll stop far boards. Oliver Kapanen looking for Anderson. Kapanen had 6 goals at the IIHF World Hockey Championship for his nation in Czechia. And offside being blown down. That was a huge win, by the way, in that championship for Czechia and David Pastrnak as we look at the goal scorer Gallagher. And one more time, there's that hit you talked about.
That's a big hit. You're not expecting that as a player, but watch Brendan Gallagher as he comes through the middle here. A little slip pass, and then he goes right to the front of the net. Exactly where Brendan Gallagher scores a lot of his goals. Great anticipation, good playmaking ability, and yeah, Cole Hudson involved as well on the power play, Brian, and I know that's something Canadiens fans want to see more of is Cole Hudson on the power play, and I'm sure that's coming.
Well, Marty talked about it this morning, and I just asked him, you know, the line as a coach, you know what Hudson can do, the toolbox, but Marty said, Hudson's not going to forget how to run a power play. He's a young guy. We kind of ease him in. He kind of, you know, joked about it a little bit, but, you know, Lane Hudson knows how to run a power play. That will come. There's no need to rush things. We'll ease him in, and Lane Hudson is a special player.
You don't need to overwhelm a young defenseman. He's playing on the second unit right now, and the second unit is not getting 15-second scraps of ice time.
Here's Brazeau, lost it to the blue line. That bomb hit a body and just missed. Brandon Carlo stepped into one. Never made it through to Caden Primo. Here's Caden Gooley at center. He'll flip it in. Montreal changing behind the play. Slafkovsky finishing his check on Carlo. Frederick up the right side. He'll shoot it in. Brazeau, Gooley. They collide in the corner. Brazeau steals. Backhand pass. That hit the side of the net. Primo able to find that. Good little setup as Brazeau was trying to create something there from the back of the net.
Caden Gooley's just trying to change sides with this puck and alleviate some of the pressure as the Bruins have a good forechecking shift here as they try and answer back. And big Justin Brazeau, who's 6'5", just shovels a pass over to Pavel Zacha, and Caden Primo does a nice job of sealing the post.
Zacha back-to-back 21-goal seasons, career high in points. Last year he put up 59 points in 78 games for Boston. Lindholm wins it, quick drive, and that was blocked again. Montreal continuing back-to-back nights, doing a good job in blocking shots for their respective goalies. Pasternak was tangled up with Caulfield. Montreal controls. Here's Cole Caulfield up the left wing. Caulfield waits for help, drops it off. Suzuki wanted to get it back to Caulfield. That was interrupted, and puck back to center. And there's Lane Hudson. Suzuki lost it at the blue line. Elias Lindholm. Boston comes in number. Lindholm, Pasternak, pass through the skates. He'll pick it up. Pasternak, stolen by Hudson. Lane Hudson feeds the wall, nobody home. And Hudson retreats, and he's got it for Montreal.
And one of the things about Lane Hudson's game that maybe doesn't get talked about enough, he has the puck a lot. He's always trying to get away from you, evasive moves. It's hard work to do that.
Newhook cutting in with speed across. Nice shot. Oh, what a stop. Swayman on dock. Good burst from Alex Newhook, showing off his speed in space. And a tripping call coming up. So the Boston Bruins on the power play. The trip. Yoel Armia to the box. 9:02 to go here in the first period. Boston power play. When we come back, the goal scorer, Gallagher.
Présenté par les véhicules électriques Ford, le F-150 Lightning et la Mustang Mach-E.
Deuxième jeu de puissance pour les Bruins. La pénalité est décernée à Armia. Tout d'abord, Doc et Newhook finissent leurs efforts. Une entrée en territoire offensif avec un tir sur réception. Voilà la grande qualité d'Alex Newhook. La pénalité est en fin de séquence lorsque Armia sort le crochet. Ah, c'était limite. On a été sévère du côté des officiels.
Alors, autre jeu de puissance, les Bruins. Voilà un tir et le but! Ça semble avoir dévié devant Caden Primo.
Charlie McAvoy en quête d'une troisième saison de 10 buts et plus. Et je reviens au même phénomène, Pierre, parce que je pense pas que le Canadien en ait gagné une depuis le début du match. C'est une mise en jeu perdue en territoire défensif. Directement à McAvoy, qui trouve la ligne de tir à travers une circulation dense. C'est bien Zaka et Matheson qui étaient là, agissent comme un écran un peu doublé. Ajoutez-y Elias Lindholm également. Et Primo est embêté au point de ne pas être en mesure d'effectuer l'arrêt. Le tir des poignets de McAvoy, partie supérieure, bien placé dans la lucarne. L'égalité créée.
Bon, c'était 27% pour le Canadien avant celle-ci. Alors, c'est bien dire qu'il y en a pas.
Et en zone défensive, Pierre, je ne me souviens pas d'une mise en jeu remportée.
Voilà une rondelle qui est laissée derrière le filet par Andrew Peak. Jacky s'avance. Jacky qui bataille le long de la rampe avec Koepke. Koepke. La rondelle derrière lui. Kastelik. Il s'amène dans le coin. Il y a ici un plaquage là, à l'endroit de Beecher. Beecher qui intercepte au vol et ça permet à Koepke ce dégagement en territoire du Canadien. 8 minutes 15 à la période. 1-1 la marque. 6-4 les tirs en faveur des Bruins. Jacky passe du côté droit. Voilà le dégagement de Barron en territoire de Boston. Là, c'est Lindholm, de Vorak qui remet un peu plus loin. Madison qui intercepte, tir de Goulet. Rondelle déviée, flottante, captée au vol par Swayman.
On s'échange des buts en supériorité numérique en première période. Le général à la ligne bleue des Bruins, Charlie McAvoy, profite du travail dans le cercle des mises en jeu de Elias Lindholm et de Brad Marchand. La rondelle qui ne dévie pas, Pierre. J'ai regardé de plusieurs angles, plusieurs reprises, mais elle se dirige directement dans la lucarne à travers une circulation tellement dense devant Caden Primo. Je vous ai parlé des trois joueurs qui créaient l'écran. Il y avait Zaka, il y avait Lindholm et il y avait Matheson aussi.
Et on reprend à la gauche de Swayman. C'est gagné par Suzuki. Voilà Hudson. Il y a la rondelle. Hudson le long de la rampe. Remet derrière à Goulet qui tombe et le tir et le but! Cole Caulfield! Écoute, il était tout seul. Il avait un filet complètement ouvert. Et c'est 2-1.
Et il a eu tout le temps voulu pour utiliser ses patins afin de récupérer cette rondelle et de la déposer dans une cage abandonnée. Mais s'il y a une équipe qui ne gagne pas de mise en jeu dans son territoire, les Bruins n'ont pas gagné celle-là non plus. Hudson qui danse un peu, refile le disque à Goulet. Et Goulet avait aperçu Caulfield. Quelle vision de la part de Caden Goulet. Regardez, il ne tente pas de marquer. Il rejoint Caulfield. J'ai dit qu'il avait utilisé son patin. C'est pas vrai. Il a utilisé son revers plutôt pour récupérer cette rondelle, Pierre. Ça va vite à la reprise. On est en mesure de voir que Caulfield récupère et dépose. C'est déjà un deuxième parmi les 3 buts du Canadien inscrits par Cole Caulfield, Pierre.
Et Hudson est le deuxième homme sur le jeu. Le troisième homme, en fait, sur le jeu. Donc, mention d'assistance encore. Et ça se poursuit là avec Suzuki. Derrière à Goulet. À Hudson. Hudson remet ensuite vers Caulfield. Et là, c'est une excellente réaction de Pavel Zacha. Mais bon repli de la part de Goulet. Pasterniak reprend. Et fait une chute à la ligne bleue. Alors que Lindholm tente de reprendre le disque. Mais là, à force de bondir, là, cette rondelle a quitté et est rentrée prématurément. Voilà, devancer le disque plutôt en territoire du Canadien. Il
n'y a eu que 36 mises en jeu hier soir. J'ai l'impression qu'il y en a déjà 36 qui ont été effectuées dans ce match-là. C'est très saccadé comme rythme en première période. Mais le Canadien ne s'en plaindra certainement pas. Ils viennent d'inscrire leur premier but.
By Lane Hudson to not try and just pepper a shot at the net just for the sake of putting it on net. And earlier this period, he had a play on the power play where he just tried to pass it down low. That pass got picked off. He goes back to the shot pass. Like, it doesn't deter him. He's got a lot of confidence in his game and his ability. You just do what the game called for. And in that situation, it called for a pass to Cole Caulfield for his second of the year.
Lane Hudson's family at the Bell Center last night. Now, one of his brothers was not there, and that's Cole Hudson, who is a second-round pick of the Capitals. Washington this year, Las Vegas Sphere, and both brothers, Frankie, they lit up USA Hockey's national team development program. Both similar players, both stars, you know, smaller guys, but IQ, I mean, through the roof. So exciting to watch his brother Cole start his career as well at some point with the Washington Capitals.
I think I called Lane Hudson Cole Hudson earlier in the game. So there's a lot of...
They're both really good.
There's a lot of... Cole Caulfield, Cole Hudson.
And a lot of this, Boston, it's big physical team. Montreal, they, you know, to a man, the players talked about it, their media avail in a back-to-back where, you know, it's going to be a physical one. So this isn't a single season for a defenseman. You got Cole Hudson, that's the bro, 68 points. Lane, 63. And look at Cam York, Adam Fox, Quinn Hughes. I mean, look at the names that have come through that program.
And the name on the bottom there at number 5, Quinn Hughes, that's a very relevant name for Lane Hudson because similar type players, evasive, guys that are really good at moving their feet, offensive guys. You almost want to follow the Quinn Hughes model as far as how you bring Lane Hudson along in his NHL career early on. Quinn Hughes played with Chris Tanev. Lane Hudson's going to play with David Savard. He's getting that steady, reliable defenseman as much as possible.
2 on Montreal. Under 7 to go here in this first period. Home opener, TD Garden for Boston. Good power move. Kempke to the net. Kastelik trying to follow up. Kempke with a good burst there towards Primo. Shot score. What a rip. Kastelik, his first as a Boston Bruin. 2-2 game.
The 5 goals for Mark Kastelik last year with the Ottawa Senators. Comes over to Boston in the Linus Ullmark deal, and that is a great shot that gets past Caden Primo. As the puck got to him on the half wall, he had a little more space. As the Canadians are trying to sort things out, Newhook heads out to the point, but there's 3 Canadian players in front of the net with only 2 Bruins. And once Yoel Armia recognizes that, it's too late. Kastelik's able to get himself into a good shooting position right at the top of the circle. And that's a nice shot that goes bar down past Caden Primo for Kastelik's first of the year.
Well, Frankie, last night had just the 1 goal in 60 minutes. We got 4 on the board and still some hockey to play. Over 6 to go in this first period. Here's Lane Hudson using the boards. Wanted Anderson. Comes back to David Savard. Jake Evans chasing after the puck. Hit by Trent Frederick. Anderson there as well, but Boston controls. Floated to center off the skate of Hudson. 2 assists in the period for Lane Hudson. Josh Anderson on the puck, he'll sweep it in. Swayman couldn't control it, comes to Gallagher. Gallagher able to hit Peak in the corner. Peak able to take it away from him, turns it over. And unable to get it on net was Josh Anderson. Frederick leads the rush for the Bruins. Throws it cross ice, bouncing around on Wotherspoon as the defenseman was in deep. Here's Hudson up the left side, swatted in by Boston, and Montreal will set up in their own zone. So 2 goals in 1:06 here at TD Garden.
Plenty of offense early, and now you have some tired players on the ice for the Bruins, and the first line for Montreal hopping over the boards, who it was a quieter night for them last night against the Maple Leafs, and that's a line you look to start to take over games when the opportunity arises.
Caden Goulet, Cole Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky in front. Slafkovsky backhand feed, and Swayman read it well, and he'll cover up. And Slafkovsky and Brandon Carlo, little conversation after the whistle.
Slafkovsky's drawn a penalty here.
A tired Boston group. And a penalty to Boston. So the Montreal Canadiens on the power play when we come back to TD Garden, going to the box. Trent Frederick.
Yeah, it's for a 2020. Well, as soon as possible. Some people say at Napa Auto.
A tired group of Boston Bruins on the ice. Ices the puck, and Marty St. Louis sends out his first line, and Juraj Slafkovsky goes to the net, uses his big frame, and he's going to end up drawing a penalty as a nice pass finds his stick, and Trent Frederic gets a stick into the midsection of Slafkovsky, and that's the type of difference that a first line, and especially a player like Slafkovsky, who's bigger, going to the net, has to make for you, and now a chance on the power play.
2 power play goals in the period already. Gallagher for Montreal, McAvoy for Boston. Boston controls and clears it down the ice. Picked up by Mike Matheson. Career highs in points last year for Mike Matheson. Had a real breakout season. 62 points, 11 goals. Here's Suzuki to the right side. Doc will fire it in. In comes Caulfield. Lost the handle in the corner. Coyle battling for it. Matheson has it. He'll slide it across. Kirby Dach. Dach setting up far wall. Up for Matheson. Back to Dach. Kirby Dach trying to seam that through to Cole Caulfield. Caulfield one more time. On the puck. Kirby Dach. Suzuki in front. Slafkovsky. Caulfield backhand high and through the crease area. Matheson. Suzuki. Waits. Caulfield up top. Matheson drives one, blocked. Matheson's got to hustle. Coyle on the puck to kill off some time, and Matheson a pretty good skater. He didn't have to scoot back as Coyle was gassed.
That's one area I would like to see Mike Matheson improve this season. Is the right decision there is to take that shot. He takes the shot. It just gets blocked, and it feels like it happens a few too many times. But it's the right decision to take that shot.
Weird bounce. Here's Armia. Armia tried to get it in front, and it went right to Swayman. He had Newhook in his sights, and Jeremy Swayman will cover up. 30 seconds left in the minor penalty to Frederic.
Well, so you get a power play goal from Brendan Gallagher already in this game. So your second unit in your second game of the season is on the board. So now everyone on this unit feels like this group can contribute just like the first unit can.
Another face-off win for Boston and a face-off dot here in this first. Under 4 minutes to go in our opening period. Lane Hudson. Barré-Boulet. Hudson's got to hustle over, nobody there, and there's Zacha. Gallagher. At center ice, checked by Lindholm. We have Elias Lindholm and Hampus Lindholm. No relation, by the way. Both Boston Bruins this year, teammates.
Both former top 10 picks.
Penalty over, 5-on-5 as Lane Hudson will wire it in high off the glass. Picked up by Newhook. Wotherspoon can't get the backhand through. Newhook continues to chase him, but it's moved up that left side. Brad Marchand. He'll drive wide, takes it around the net. Marchand. Up top, that drive, and Primo ready on the bomb there from Pastrnak. Charlie Coyle behind the net. Coyle in front, Marchand there, and cleaned up in time by Dvorak.
That is a great defensive play by Mike Matheson. He didn't go to the back of the net. He held his ground right in the front of the net, and that puck ended up coming right onto his stick. Great job being patient by Matheson.
Pastrnak, Marchand, always dangerous. Pass to the near point, just held in by Carlo. Still onside is Boston. Hampus Lindholm, they'll fire. Primo stopped and rebound. There's Kapanen hustling, trying to jam it free. And he can't clear. Carlo, bouncing puck. There's Kapanen, and he'll collect for Montreal. Kapanen off the boards, nobody home. Boston transitions quickly. Kepke in front. Pastrnak, and it was knocked off his stick in time. McAvoy, space, waits, shoots, tip. Primo to stop. Pastrnak digging for it. Caden Primo down. And he will hold as the always dangerous Pastrnak there. Oh, Matheson gave him a pop, and Pastrnak tried to give one right back. Original six showdown here on this Thursday night, TD Garden.
Anytime Arber Xhekaj is on the ice and there's an altercation in front of the Canadiens net, you know he's going to assert himself in those situations, as he should. And Arber Xhekaj does a great job recovering here as this puck comes to David Pastrnak. Xhekaj goes right over top of the stick of Pastrnak, doesn't take a penalty, negates the chance, and Caden Primo in scramble mode trying to find this puck. Pasternak's digging away at it, and Arber Xhekaj coming over to help things along as well. So a nice defensive sequence for Xhekaj and Mike Matheson as the Canadiens a little scrambly in the latter parts of this first period.
Well, Pastrnak a couple years ago, a 61-goal season. Always dangerous, back-to-back 100-plus point seasons for him. Here's Zadorov towards the net, double tip, and Brazeau in front. Nearly got the final touch. Brazeau up top, McAvoy, wrist shot, now it's tipped, high slot, and that's out of play. Bruins finding a gear here, 2-2, 1:51 to go in the first.
And here's where the attention to details, the defensive zone structure that you've been talking about all throughout training camp, this is where this matters, where now the other team has some momentum, they're getting you running around a little bit, you have to have something that you lean on, and now you want to block some shots. There's a double tip that goes off Slavkovsky, and Xhekaj ends up going wide of the net. You have to know your responsibilities, and you have to be willing to sacrifice a little bit, and that's where Montreal's right now as Boston applies some pressure.
Lindholm waved out. Newhook waiting for a new dance partner, and that'll be Zacha. Shots 12-6 in favor of Boston, and Montreal controls. Here's Xhekaj. Armia couldn't clear, held in. Zacha, space, waits, up top, that bomb and stopped. Good drive, McAvoy again. Zadorov, wrister, tip, score! Pavel Zacha, the tip in front, 3-2 Boston.
Well, Boston had the Canadiens hemmed in their own zone the last couple minutes, and as Montreal's trying to sort things out, it's Elias Lindholm who's going to get a high tip here as he gets away from his check. He moves into the high ice. Arber Xhekaj tries to get out there, and Nikita Zadorov with a nice look right through the middle of the ice. Zacha's there tied up with Savard. Lindholm's in the high slot as well, and looks like Elias Lindholm has his first goal of the season. First goal is a Bruin, and Bruins are up 3-2.
My apologies, 28. I thought Zacha might have got the final touch, but you're right, Frankie, high slot. It was Lindholm. And the Bruins will take it regardless. A 3-2 lead. 5 goals now put up in this first period. Matheson taken down in the corner. Kastelik, Frederick in the corner for Boston. Dug out by Josh Anderson. He'll chip it up ahead. Tufte hit his chest. He'll send it far boards. Gouli keeps it in. There's Gallagher. He'll zip it around. Josh Anderson there. Wotherspoon will pick it up. In comes Evans finishing his check. Frederick. Little flip.
And held in. Onside. Anderson has it. Gallagher in front. Anderson trying to get it through. Couldn't find the intended target, Gallagher. Kastelik the other way. He'll just chip that to space. Kastelik starts a change. In comes Frederic. Lone man in for Boston. Final minute, TD Garden. And a 3-2 lead for the home side. Oliver Kapanen. Couldn't get that pass through. Marchand took it away. Here's Coyle. Good by Dvorak. With pie to center. There's Carlo, and he'll wrist it in.
It's a good little lesson for Kapanen. The guys like Brad Marchand, it's tough to beat them with those little flip passes.
Coyle centering feed in front. And a good recovery, but Barré-Boulet couldn't clear. Carlo's shot off the lane. Comes to Geekie. Morgan Geekie using the boards. Up to the point. Carlo bumps it back in. Coyle, little reverse hit on Barré-Boulet. 5 seconds left. Boston's got to be quick. Coyle in front off the pad of Primo. 5 goals in the opening 20 minutes. And Elias Lindholm is first as a Bruin. The difference maker, it's a 3-2 lead.
The biggest thing you worry about for the Canadians in this game is how's the energy going to be. You just played your home opener last night. You traveled. Boston was waiting here for you. The energy was good. You scored 2 goals in the first period. You got a power play goal. You're down 1, but you've shown that you have some good energy.
Molson Canadiens hockey intermission next. Laura Carlo with have or have not.
next Thursday, so a week from today, October the 17th, with the Kings in town. That is the finale of a 3-game homestand for the home side. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 8 Atlantic, right here on TSN in the Habs region. We'll have to see if they'll be wearing those silver buckets for that one, those LA Kings. We've got Carlo.
You like those?
Not particularly, but, something to look at, right? Montreal Canadiens, again, what we were really talking about in this pregame was the fact the strong goaltending. I mean, they got a shutout yesterday, give up 3 goals here in this first period, but the power play added again. And I think we're learning what happens in the preseason. It's just the preseason.
It's just the preseason. And so far, so good for Montreal in back-to-back games. They get a big power play goal. The one was a winner yesterday. But in a game today where you talked about energy, whether they would have it, they weathered the storm early. Look at the patience here by Lane Hutson. Man, I love this guy's elusiveness. He's just making plays, and because they just enter the zone, I talked about it earlier, it's about making the quick play, not about getting set up, letting the power play to get established. You're making quick plays once you enter because those were the seams are found, and Brendan Gallagher, the guy that has made a living for himself being in front of the net, gets the big first goal.
So that was a carryover from yesterday's game, the power play goal. Also a carryover, Cole Caulfield living up to his name of Goal Caulfield, coming off that breakout season last year where he set career highs in pretty much every offensive category. How important is it for this team to have him get going?
It's massively important. And look, he's looking for a big year himself. He just watched his buddy Suzuki eclipse 30 goals, and he has yet to have it. And so for him to get off to a great start, it's imperative for this Montreal team. This is yesterday's goal. You see it's the first one of the game, and you recognize the importance of it. Look, he changed his number for a reason because his hero, Johnny Gaudreau, passed. And you almost feel like the goals that he's scoring, he's dedicating to them. But look at this play tonight. He wins a faceoff, and look where he goes. Right to the front of the net. Great play by Lane Hutson to calm everything down again. He's got 2 on the night, but because Hudson calms everything down, throws it to the point, Caulfield gets to the front of the net. He gets rewarded with a lucky bounce, but he also gets rewarded with another goal.
We knew the Bruins would make a push. We saw them in action Tuesday, taking on the defending champion, the Florida Panthers. And head coach Jim Montgomery saying he wasn't happy with the execution that his team had there, wasn't happy with the speed. They looked slow, he said, all game long. And you know that they want to put on a show here for their home crowd.
Absolutely. And I got to give Montreal credit. They came out, like I said, they weathered the storm, and they actually took over the game after they scored. They had a 2-1 lead. But then they just let their foot off the gas, and they got too passive in the D zone. Frankie talked about how the difference in the defensive structure, and yes, they are playing more in front of the net, but somebody still has to cover the guy that's the dangerous guy cutting to the front of the net. And Kastelik here gets a good cycle off the boards, take it to the middle, gets a free shot, it beats him. And then here, just with under a minute left, again, it's a lost battle behind the net, too passive in front of the net. Zadorov is a guy that's been able to make a shot pass to Lindholm, who is covered by Xhekaj, but Xhekaj's got to do a better job there eliminating the stick. Take away the object that's dangerous for the goal. And now, instead of going into the period feeling good with a lead, you're down 3-2. So a big regroup here for the Montreal Canadiens.
And it was a great start for them, right? Brendan Gallagher getting that power play goal. But we go back to the very beginning of the game. Not even 30 seconds in when it's Primo getting called for a penalty here. And the Canadiens playing a dangerous game because you don't want to put this Bruins team out on the man advantage. Well,
you also don't want to get the crowd involved either, right? Because the crowd can be such an influence at the TD Garden. And like, I understand penalties and stuff, can happen, but I don't want the referees to dictate how the game goes. That's a soft penalty on Primo. Now, they get lucky here because this is the right call. It is goalie interference. That goal should have counted. But the other call that the Montreal Canadiens get, it's a soft play in the neutral zone. Armia's going to make a hit. I don't really see this as a trip. Referees call it, and it's immediate. It's a face-off win. McAvoy walks to the middle, gets it to the net. It's a goal. It's 1-1. Let the players play the game. Boston doesn't need any more help. Those 2 penalties really bothered me.
5 goals in that first period coming in just less than 10 minutes of time on ice. It was a very entertaining period as we kick off Molson Canadiens hockey here for this season on TSN. And that means it's also the return of our segment, Have or Have Not. Carlo will be on the hot seat next. Back in action on Friday, tomorrow night here on TSN as they face the Wizards once again. Yes, it's Tangerine Raptors basketball. We've got it for you here on TSN. We also have it here on TSN, backed by popular demand, the award-winning segment, Have or Have Not. This is my first time doing this.
Welcome to the segment.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. Oh, that's so bad. So let's start with Sam Montembeault, who was absolutely lights out yesterday. 48-save shutout in the win over the Maple Leafs. Look, the Four Nations face-off is coming up quick. February happens to start in Montreal. How great would it be to see Sam Montembeault on Team Canada? Have or have not, he will be on that roster.
I am a big-time Hab on this one. If people watched me on the TSN Trade Center show and saw my lineup, I had Samuel Montembeault in as one of the 3 goalies. I think it's pretty well known that it's probably going to be Skinner and Binnington, and that third spot is wide open. I think Montembeault has made huge strides the last couple of years, establishing himself as a #1 goaltender. He got off to a great start so far this season. And you just look at the competition, Adin Hill, Tristan Jarry, Marc-Andre Fleury, Darcy Kuemper. It's there for him to take. I think he takes it.
All right, we got one Hab. We know what Lane Hudson did in that opening period. First multi-point game of his career. Will he top 40 points this season, Carlo? Hab or Hab not?
I'm Hab on this one. I love watching this guy play every game, every time he's on the ice. We saw examples of it early in the first period there with 2 points. Mike Matheson led the defense with 62 points last year. And now, am I saying it's going to get 62 points? No. But they need more offense from other guys in the top line. And if you watch this guy play, every time he touches the puck, he's always creating something. He had 49 points in 38 games in college last year. Look, he's not on the first-line PP, but I think it's inevitable. The more this guy plays, the more he produces. He has to be on that top-line PP as the year goes on. That's why I think he'll eclipse 40 points.
Well, you mentioned it in earlier on our intermission here, that Cole Caulfield, this close to getting to 30 goals last year, had 28, knocking on the door. Does he get there this season, Hab or Hab not?
Hab. This is the year for Cole Caulfield. And,
it's a trend, Hab.
And if you believe in hockey gods, Cole Caulfield is the reason why you believe in it, because it's unfortunate to see what happened to his the tragic passing of his best buddy. But the fact that he went to 13, I believe there's an angel looking over him this season in Johnny Gaudreau that's going to help him get there. You see how important that goal was as he points up to him. I just think that he saw his buddy Nick Suzuki score 33 last year. He's always been a guy that's gotten off to hot starts. It's only inevitable he finds that consistency in his game. If that top line can be as good as they've been since the post-All-Star break last year, there's no doubt he's going to eclipse the 30 goal.
He's already got 2, and he's got 2 periods to go in this, his second game of the season. David Savard approaching a milestone, 3 games away from 800, playing in 797 here tonight, but he will not be a member of the Montreal Canadiens by season's end. Hab or Hab not?
Hab not. Look, I love David Savard. I think he's a big piece to this blue line. But he's 33 years old, and he's a UFA next year. He's going to be highly sought after at the deadline because of all the reasons I just mentioned. Guy that can play in your top 4, guy that can kill penalties. And he comes at a very reasonable cap at 3.5 AAV. But if you look at the strength of this Montreal Canadiens prospect pool, it's on defense. You're introducing Lane Hudson this year. Strubal's not available right now. Logan Mayhew's going to be ready next year. David Reinbacher's on the horizon. I think if they can continue to accumulate assets with a guy like David Savard, it'll only help continue to build them to a better future moving forward.
You get a Hab, I get a Hab not, because I asked the question wrong. The question was, will he finish the season as a Montreal Canadian? And yes, that is a Hab not. In our second intermission, we will get our crew over in Boston on the spot to do a little Hab or Hab not. When we come back and our intermission continues, we've got some highlights from around the NHL. along with the Montreal Canadiens, the Leafs in the swamp to take on the Devils, and it's the former Montreal captain Max Pacioretty with his first as a Maple Leaf. 3-1 Toronto as the second period is just underway. The Senators kicking off their season this evening, welcoming in the defending champs. Early first on the power play, it's Tim Stützle. Shane Pinto also scored in the first period as the Sens have that 2-0 lead over the Panthers. So yes, 9 games total on the schedule tonight in the NHL. The Islanders have opened up the scoring against the Utah Hockey Club, and we will have more highlights for you in our second intermission. Second period just around the corner now from Boston, and yes, goals aplenty there in that first period. 5 of them on the board. Brendan Gallagher with another power play marker for the Montreal Canadiens. We're down a goal heading into this second period, as I mentioned. All right, let's get you back now to Brian and Frankie.
Laura, the Montreal Canadiens trying to start the season 2-0 for the first time since 2015. 2 assists in that opening 20 minutes for young Lane Hudson.
And listen, the points are going to accumulate for him. That's just the type of game that he plays. The puck is always around his stick. The thing about the type of game he plays, it's hard to play that style. It's hard to always want to be around it. Those first 3 strides getting out of a turn are so important for Lane Hudson. He does it so well. This is a back-to-back. This is a rookie playing in the NHL. He may pick his spots a little more tonight than maybe he did last night, but you can never fault the effort from Lane Hudson.
On the Boston side, Zadorov, a pair of assists in the opening 20. Elias Lindholm, a goal and a helper. Underway here in the second period. Back forward is Barron and Matheson. Marchand nearly took it away, but a nice little pass. Slafkovsky for Suzuki. They're on the move. Here's Barron. Barron lost it up that right side. Chipped up again for Marchand. Next goal will time for 4th all-time in franchise history. Lindholm, round the net he goes. Lindholm, Geeky's in front. Morgan Geeky couldn't find it, and that's poked away, and the foot race on. Cole Caulfield hustling after the puck, but Carlo fast enough, and icing against Montreal.
So it's a good effort from Cole Caulfield to try and beat out that icing, and Boston picking up right where they left off late in that first period. And one area Montreal can improve on in the second is the face-off dot. Boston was 69% as a team. They had the puck a little bit more, especially towards the end of that period.
Montreal trying to get their first win in this building since 2019. Jeff Petrie had the overtime marker. Boston's been tough against Montreal, their division rival. 13-0-1 for Boston in the last 14. Suzuki, the steal. He lost an edge, couldn't get the shot off. Pastrnak, they'll drop it back. Lindholm shoots it in. Lane Hudson back. Pastrnak plays it away from Pastrnak. Good play by Hudson. Battle continues. Boston controls. Lindholm works it across. And again, Pastrnak trying to jam that shot off. Tries again, and Hudson blocked that one off the leg. Pastrnak one more time. Too much space for number 88. Here's Zadorov. Nikita Zadorov. Pastrnak, the backhand for Zacha. There's Newhook in the corner. Newhook under duress. Hudson in his own zone. Little chip with a backhand that avoids the hit. And Montreal gets it to center. Wotherspoon back as Parker Wotherspoon assesses options in his own zone. David Savard. He's back, hit by John Beecher. Picked up by Koepke, plays it up top. Wotherspoon throws it across. There's Peak. Andrew Peak towards the net. And through the screen, Primo able to squeeze that. Caden Primo, 8-9-4. Last year for the Montreal Canadiens, a .910 save percentage as the Boston Bruins trying to get back into the playoffs, led by former Coach of the Year, Jim Montgomery.
It was a good year for the Boston Bruins, who had 2 major departures last year in Bergeron and Krejci, and they had Zacha playing center. Charlie Coyle was second-line center last year, and now when you bring in Elias Lindholm and Mark Kastelik, it moves Zacha to the wing, it moves Morgan Geeky to the wing. They're a deeper team down the middle.
Wrap try, backhand, good speed, Beecher. And Primo was ready. This Boston team, they lost in the second round to the eventual Cup champion Florida Panthers last year.
And this is always a tough building to play in, but especially on a night like tonight in a back-to-back home opener. Here's John Beecher, who had a good playoffs for the Bruins, just trying to wrap play, trying to see if he can beat Caden Primo to the back post. And even if you don't score on that wrap, you're trying to see if you can create some kind of rebound chance. And Primo does a nice job of making sure there is no rebound there, and we get a face-off.
Beecher, a first-round pick of the Bruins back in 2019. There's Matheson along the wall. McAvoy. Good body check. Boston still controls. Up top, Zadorov. Waits, shoots, deflected, and just wide again. Brazeau setting up shop right in front of Caden Primo. Boston again. Brazeau in front. Trying to pull the trigger. Bounced on him. Couldn't get it clean. McAvoy, wrist shot. And finally, Primo's going to settle things down as Boston making a push here, opening stages of this second.
18th shot of the night for the Boston Bruins, and this looks very different for both teams in comparison to their first games of the year. For Boston on Tuesday, they lost the battles in front of the net. And for Montreal, even though Montembeault had to make 48 saves last night, they did a good job in front of their own net. There's Charlie McAvoy laying a good hit on Barré-Boulet as he pinches in off the blue line. And then the puck made its way to the front of the net where Justin Brazeau, who's 6'5", he's been in and around the blue paint in front of Caden Primo all night. We've seen a lot of tip plays for the Bruins. They scored on one already with Elias Lindholm, doing a nice job of making things difficult for Montreal's D and Caden Primo.
Brazeau, 5 goals last year in his rookie season with the Boston Bruins. That's off a stick high, but stays in play in Boston territory. Brandon Carlo will play it. Stretched up ice, Pastrnak. Waits, puts on the break, centering feed, and getting back in time was the speed of Caulfield to break it up. Lindholm was looking for an opportunity. Nick Suzuki through center, over the blue line. Suzuki, he'll delay, using the boards there. Slafkovsky. Suzuki, centering feed in front, and that was friendly fire on Swayman, as it was Hampus Lindholm, kind of a dangerous play towards his goal. Charlie Coyle, left wing. He'll chip it in. Boston starting a change. Lane Hudson using the boards, tipped by Caulfield. Hudson took a shot courtesy of Brad Marchand. Get used to that, young man. Brad Marchand's done that to players for years in this league, and one of the better ones to do it. Always the agitator. And needs a new contract, by the way, in Boston. And a penalty coming up, and I believe it's Lane Hudson that'll be going to the box. We'll double check that, but Boston again on the power play, leading by 1, nearly 4 minutes gone here in the second. And it's not Hudson, my apologies. It was behind the play, it's Armia.
48, Montreal's got a minor for a hold.
No, it is Hudson. I think Armia thought it was on him.
You had it right the first time.
I didn't have it right the first time. It is Lane Hudson.
Well, Lane Hudson heads to the box, and he's in a one-on-one battle with Charlie Coyle, who's a big, smart, veteran player. Hudson just reaches his hand into the hips of Charlie Coyle. It's not much, but it's enough to warrant a call, and there's the hit by Brad Marchand. Lane Hudson makes a play up the ice. Marchand finishes his hit. That's 2 pretty big hits for Marchand, one on Newhook, one on Hudson. Boston to the power play.
Here's Josh Anderson trying to race in, shorthanded. Anderson on the puck. Anderson shoots off the post. Oh, that would have been big for number 17 to get his season going. Great rush, Josh Anderson shorthanded. There's Marchand. He'll protect in the corner, weaves and goes to McAvoy. Marchand down low, gets it from Zacha. Marchand. Pastrnak, Marchand. Pastrnak. Zacha's in front. Marchand tries to zip that through. There's Anderson trying to clear. Second effort, and Josh Anderson will jam that to center.
That's a nice job by Matheson, making sure that doesn't get to the back door. David Pastrnak had filtered his way right to the back door, looking for a one-timer.
Matheson racing over. McAvoy holds it in. Elias Lindholm. Zacha's parked in front. McAvoy. Pastrnak lost it, chipped to center as he just lost the handle, did Pastrnak, and he'll head off for a change. Trent Frederick for Boston. He'll drop it off. Morgan Geekie. Hampus Lindholm to Geekie. Geekie goes to the goal line. Geekie's got to reach for it and get it back. Geekie in, wrist shot. Good block, Matheson, and that one stung. Brazeau. Armia swatting at it. Geekie digs it free. He'll curl around. Geekie delays up top. And that drive, Lindholm didn't get a good shot off. Evans the other way. Hudson ready to come out of the box. Seconds ticking down. 5 left in the minor penalty to Lane Hudson. Hampus Lindholm over the blue line. They'll sling it across. Hudson's out of the box. 5-on-5 hockey. Boston still controls. Alex Newhook on the puck for Montreal. Newhook through center. Little flip to Evans. Evans at the end of his shift. He'll change. Charlie Coyle in his own zone. Here he gave it away. Newhook. Here's Gallagher in. Gallagher with it. Newhook from a knee. Couldn't get the shot off clean. Caden Gooley back for Montreal. Newhook picks it up. Just avoids the body check. Boston, you talked about how big they are, the physicality, and they've been laying the body as Koepke brings it in. Koepke centers. Good block there. Arbor Jacki. Good defensive play. Wotherspoon sends it across. Boston changing on the fly as Peak hands it off. Good battle below as Tufte using his frame. 6'6", 230 is Riley Tufte. Wotherspoon across. There's Peak. Slashed up by Newhook. Montreal trying to clear, and Kirby Dach has the puck. He'll send that to the line, intended for Gallagher. Kirby Dach, 3 goals in 3 career games versus Swayman. Nearly 8 gone here, second period, 3-2 Boston. Here's Justin Barrett over the line for Montreal. He'll guide it in for Suzuki. Peak there, gave it away. Suzuki continues that battle. Puck across, there's Caulfield. Caulfield tried to center, that was interrupted. And played to the Boston line. Backhanded in, but played in offside. Boston is also changing on the play. 3-2, Boston leads, 12:16 to go here in the second period on this Thursday night in Massachusetts.
Talk about paying a price. Mike Matheson does that on this last shift. You go back to the penalty kill. He blocks a pass from going across the crease, backdoor to David Pastrnak, and has a couple big blocks here. First one on Morgan Geekie. Lays out. That's not pretty when it hits your knee like that. And Hampus Lindholm right off the side of the other knee for Mike Matheson. And here's Josh Anderson. Good wheels to try and win this. Wins the puck battle, can't get it past the post, and Montreal doesn't have a shot on net this period. And You think about players, Brian, who want to get off to a good start this season offensively. Josh Anderson has to be very high on your list.
Just the 9 goals, 20 points last season offensively, the worst year of his NHL career. Worked hard this summer to try reinvent himself and gain that confidence. And yeah, that post shorthanded would have been huge for Josh Anderson. In comes Riley Tufte, in on Matheson. Tufte, Frederick, and Tufte digs it free. McAvoy just lost the handle. And over comes Dvorak for Barron. Justin Barron will chip it in. Zadorov back for Boston. Barré-Boulet in the corner with Dvorak. Zadorov in his own zone. Watched by Kapanen. Played to Frederick. Trent Frederick in with Tufte. Lost the puck. Here's Dvorak the other way quickly with Anderson. Dvorak, wrist shot, Swayman steered it aside. Anderson behind the net. Josh Anderson lays it up top. Lane Hudson on the ice. Hudson in the corner. Lane Hudson protects the puck. Little flip to space. Pass back, wrist shot right on Gallagher, and Swayman able to hold as Brendan Gallagher looking for his second on the night versus Jeremy Swayman making his season debut.
It's impressive how many options open up on the ice when Lane Hudson gets involved and he starts to move around in the offensive zone with the puck. He just dishes this off to Dvorak in the middle, and now Brendan Gallagher has a little time and space to try a shot on net and see if he can beat Swayman. But it all starts because Lane Hudson is available to engage offensively, able to get away from checks and open things up for his teammates on the ice.
Lane Hudson, Hobey Baker finalist, which was won by Macklin Celebrini, also in the National Hockey League, the first overall pick. And of course, Lane knows this area all too well. Played for Boston University, 15 goals, 49 points in 39 games, an outstanding collegiate career. Wrist shot tries again, did Yoel Armia, and couldn't bury that one. Now you come to a city, you have those great memories, as does Lane Hudson, as does Caden Primo, playing at Northeastern, winning the Beanpot a few times, and the Mike Richter Award, top goalie NCAA, as did Swayman, by the way, both winning the Mike Richter Award. College hockey here in the United States. Here's Armia. He'll fire it in. Took a weird deflection. Armia on the puck first. Gallagher. Here's Hudson. He'll walk the line. Lane Hudson, so shifty out there. He'll deliver down low. Penalty coming up. Caden Gooley. They took the slash from Wotherspoon. Don't know what they'll call it regardless. Boston's going to the penalty box, and Montreal have a chance to tie things up here. 10:22 to go in this second period.
Boston, number 13, minor penalty. High stick.
It's a high stick, and that's Charlie Coyle going to the box.
Well, here you go. Here's your chance. You finally found a way to tilt the ice in your favor, get some time in the offensive zone. You've drawn a penalty. 2 shots on net for Montreal this period. It's Coyle to the box, and well, Montreal's first unit, who got one last night, second unit has one tonight. They'll get a chance as little deliberation as far as where the face-off is going to be. And it was Charlie Coyle saying it wasn't him, but there was an errant stick, and Montreal to the power play.
Suzuki out. In comes Kirby Dach. Dach battling for the puck with Beecher. He'll swats it below the goal line. There's Slafkovsky. And it's cleaned up by Hampus Lindholm all the way down to Primo. Mike Matheson. On the puck for Montreal. He'll drop it back. The captain, Nick Suzuki. Suzuki, some speed over the line for Dach. Dach round the boards. Carlo there first. Hit by Caulfield. John Beecher spins, and no stick though. Giveaway. Suzuki, wrist shot. Glove down. Swayman. What a helpless feeling. Hampus Lindholm didn't have a stick in his hand, and what a chance for Suzuki.
It's going to be tough to beat a goaltender like Jeremy Swayman. Man on man, looking him right in the eyes. Swayman comes out, cuts down the angle, snags it with the glove, but You're right, Brian. What a helpless feeling as a defenseman. You just want to block that pass, and Lindholm would have if he had his stick. And so Brendan Gallagher got his stick up into the face of Yoel Armia, and Boston got the penalty. So that's what Boston was talking about at their bench. So Montreal, it's a favorable call there.
Swayman, great numbers versus Montreal as well, as that's at the side of the net, and he gloves it out of midair. Frankie, he's 7-0-1 in 8 career games versus Montreal. 3 straight 20-plus win seasons in the playoffs. Obviously, the lost second round, 6-6, a .933 save percentage. And Swayman, it's his net now in Boston. Oh, they paid him for it to be his net, that's for sure. Here's Zadorov spinning away, but Matheson has it. Mike Matheson, wrist shot, never got through. And down the ice. Matheson one more time will set up behind his goalie. Cole Caulfield. He'll drop it back. Nice little move, Suzuki. Cutting in, there's Doc. Kirby Doc. In the corner, Suzuki. That hit Slavkovsky, and then Matheson couldn't settle the puck down. He's got to start again from his own zone. Kirby Doc at center. Flips to the left side. There's Caulfield. The backhand dish. In comes Suzuki. He got hit by Zadorov. There's a turnover. Look out. Marchand. Marchand cutting in. Watch by Matheson. Marchand tripped up by Matheson as Marchand draws a penalty. And Brad Marchand, always dangerous, shorthanded, as he's got 36 career shorthanded goals. That leaves all active NHL players. And he draws the penalty, so 32 seconds now of 4-on-4 hockey.
And that's what you get with Brad Marchand. Obviously a veteran who's been around for such a long time and understands in this situation he can try and eat some of the clock. Tries to make something out of this offensively on the penalty kill. And Matheson gets his stick caught right in the skate of Marchand. He goes down. Easy call for Wes McCauley. So now we get a little bit of 4-on-4 hockey. And there's Oliver Kapanen on the ice for the Canadiens. So Marty St. Louis seeing what the youngster can do with a little more room on the ice.
And you talk about Marchand's game, 36 years of age, you know he's one of the guys that would love to be on an Olympic team for Team Canada.
He's already been picked for the Four Nations,
yep.
We know that.
Here's Lane Hudson, watched by Pasternak.
If Crosby's going to be there, which he is, and McKinnon's going to be there, do you think Marchand would be there as well?
Good options to have is Kapanen. Lays it back, Newhook, Barron, little space, goes down low, Hudson. Lane Hudson. Across. Barron takes a look, he'll shovel it in, and coils out of the box. So Boston, now on the power play, Pasternak over the blue line. He'll fire it far corner for Lindholm. And look out, that was cleared. Marchand couldn't keep it in. Face-off back in Montreal territory. 8:06 to go here in the second period.
It will be interesting when it comes to Team Canada and how they try and select the players for the Four Nations and for the Olympics. You know, at some point, does it cross their mind to bring some younger guys along in order to groom them for the Olympic team? And I'm sure those conversations are being had around players like Nick Suzuki, maybe Quinton Byfield. I'm sure Connor Bedard is deep in those conversations.
Samuel Montembeault, I mean, what he did last night, right? Why not put him in the mix in that conversation? Boston controls. Power play time for the Bruins. McAvoy, he'll dish it off. Lindholm playing pass. Pasternak, one-timer. Primo, stop that. Good save, Caden Primo, to keep it a one-goal game. Mark that one. Pasternak, first 60-goal scorer a couple years ago since Phil Esposito in Boston Bruins lore. 61 usually wins you the Rocket Richard, but that year McDavid was just a little bit better. And of course, Austin Matthews, 69 last year. Josh Anderson, nearly in. No call. Marchand the other way. Marchand, he'll weave in, waiting, wrist shot, and that's an easy one, or was it? In and out of the glove. And Primo, that little bobble, but Montreal able to
respond and help him out and clear.
There's been a few shaky moments for Cayden Primo in this game where you just want to see him be a little more comfortable on saves like that.
Pass in front, and that's off a skate. Good setup there. And time expires as Matheson out of the box. And is he onside? Matheson waiting, cutting in, wrist shot just wide. In comes Anderson. Josh Anderson below the goal line, fighting with Dvorak. Anderson using the boards. Xhekaj keeps it in. Quickly for Barron. Barron, give and go. Barron in, shoots. Swayman felt it, squeezed it, and he'll hold. And it's a good little push there for Montreal with Matheson jumping out of the box. Right now, though, Swayman and the Bruins leading by 1. What a night last night for Samuel Montembeault. 48 save shutout. Just the second in Habs history to shut out the Leafs in a season opener. And it was incredible. Most saves for a shutout in regular season opener hockey since 1955. It was a special night, Frankie, and he literally shut the door.
It was great. And think about where he was a year ago, where opening night, it's Jake Allen who gets the start instead of Samuel Montembeault. And his game has progressed so much over the last year. And you know, we're talking about the Four Nations Cup and how potentially he's putting himself on the radar for that. And it's nice to know for the Canadians they have a guy they can go to and give them a chance to win on a nightly basis. And without Jake Allen here this year, Cayden Primo gets more of an opportunity to bring his game along as well and have some healthy competition in goal.
First time Toronto shut out in the regular season as well since November 20th of 2021. That's a stat Habs fans will enjoy listening. Great game, great atmosphere for Montreal to kick things off, a win versus Toronto. Montreal last year 5-13-8 versus the Atlantic, and obviously 1-0 to start the season. Tough schedule to start, right? Jake Evans joked about it. He's like, man, talk about getting the juices going. You get Toronto, then Boston, then Ottawa Saturday night back at the Bell Center. Let's go, buckle in.
A rivalry week.
Might as well get right after it though, right, Frankie? Let's do it. Under 6 to go, second period. Here's Slafkovsky. Juraj Slafkovsky, watched by Kastelik. Marchand. His turn to shadow Kaiden Guhle. Lane Hudson up the ice. Caulfield hoping for the home run, but Hampus Lindholm took it away. Coyle closing on Guhle. And a little collision right in front of the Montreal bench. 5:31 to go. Habs within 1 on the road, and you talked about it. Energy, a tough game, Frankie, trying to find the legs after that emotional win last night.
And the energy was good early. Now, we felt the energy drop off a little bit late in the first period, early to start this second period, but the good news is you're only 1 shot away. Even though that energy has dropped off, you know, at times they've bent, you know, you don't want to break. And last year there was a lot of times where the second period was where they would lose a game. And it felt like there would be a sequence of events, and they put themselves out of reach.
Morgan Geekie on the turnover. He'll drop it back. Geekie below the goal line. Working with Coyle. He finds Zadorov. Zadorov feathers it back in. Matheson hustling over to the corner. Checked by Coyle. McAvoy bobbling puck. Newhook trying to get around him. Newhook taken out.
That's interference.
No call. Yoel Armia fanned on it at the blue line. Marchand lost it in his skates. Newhook tracking over, and he'll fire it in. Newhook also played his NCAA hockey at Boston College. Good puck battle. Armia able to force that to center. Newhook well traveled from St. John's, Newfoundland, Labrador. Played in the BCHL. Played at Boston College, Colorado, now obviously Montreal. Here's Evans. Gallagher bouncing on him. Couldn't get that shot away. And Pasternak has it at center. Pasternak. Here's Arbor Jacki in the corner in his own zone. David Savard there as well. Zacha protects. Pavel Zacha round the net. Centers. Pasternak. Score! What a setup, and Pasternak a rifle up top. Boston leads by 2.
David Pasternak was 7th in the NHL in goals last season, and tonight he's had a few looks right in that high slot area. He's been able to find some quiet ice there, and he finds it again. He's able to convert. And as the Montreal Canadiens D-zone coverage is watching Zacha behind the net, the whole box moves, and as it moves, Brendan Gallagher is a little late to get to David Pasternak. By the time he gets there, the puck's off his stick. Pasternak doesn't get all of it, but he gets enough for his 2nd of the season, and Boston's up by 2.
Second point of the night. He's got an assist, now a goal. 40 points in 30 career games versus the Montreal Canadiens. Coming off the gold medal as well this summer at the World Hockey Championship in his home country of Czechia in Prague, where he came late and then scored a big goal in the gold medal game versus Switzerland. And a nice little start to his season, his 2nd, and a 4-2 Boston lead. Swayman well out to come and play it, and he will. To the boards to Brazeau. He spins and shoots it in. Kaiden Guhle stretching ice to center. Little chip. Bure-Boulet for Dvorak. Kapanen was in front. Barron using the boards. Dvorak chips at it. Just over 3 to go in the second period. Beecher, a step. Beecher cutting in. Try to drive and score. Second effort. It's tucked in by Boston. Couple of quick goals and a 5-2 lead now for the Boston Bruins. And Cole Koepke's got his first as a Bruin and just his 2nd goal in the NHL.
Now this is a hard-working goal and a hard-working shift, and it all starts with John Beecher as he moves his feet. Barron crosses over the wrong way initially. He tries to recover, he does, but as the puck is laying there under Caden Primo, Koepke bangs away at it. He's able to put it under the pad, and for Koepke gets his first goal of the year. He didn't score a goal in the NHL last year with Tampa Bay, but he gets one now, and the Bruins are up by 3.
What a championship at University of Minnesota Duluth. Opportunity in the lineup, and he buries one, just his 2nd NHL goal, first as a Boston Bruin. Here's Slafkovsky with Suzuki. Slafkovsky, Caulfield, Barron. Back in the corner for Cole Caulfield. Controlled by Marchand, Boston the other way. Coyle fires it in. Morgan Geekie behind the net. Coyle's in front. McAvoy saucers it back in. Picked up by Coyle. Zadorov successful in holding it in. Weak drive by Marchand. Missed the mark. McAvoy's in deep. McAvoy. Geekie, side of the net, just through the crease area. Just missed there, and Slafkovsky has it. Juraj Slafkovsky. Over the blue line, across. Taken down with Suzuki, and he draws a penalty. A tripping call coming up, so Montreal will get a power play opportunity. Habs need to find another gear, down by 3, minute 59 to go. And on the power play when we come back to TD Garden. Time now for the Molson. Big moment of the game.
Well, it happened quick. 2 goals in 55 seconds. The first one, David Pastrnak finds a soft spot in the slot. And then it's John Beecher driving wide on Justin Barron. And Koepke's able to bang that in past Caden Primo. He's not able to shield his pad against the post. And here's the penalty. It's Charlie McAvoy as he goes out to make a play on Nick Suzuki. Trips him up, and Montreal down 3 with just less than 2 minutes to go in the second period gets a power play, and Marty St. Louis got his second unit on the ice, led by Cole Hudson. Lane Hudson, Brian. Please stop me from doing that.
Well, Cole's going to be a player. You know, I got to watch him at the under-18s and USA Hockey National Team Development Program in Plymouth, Michigan. Great talent, a lot like his brother. And Lane Hudson still awaiting his first goal in the National Hockey League, and I think it'll be pretty soon for Lane the way he's been playing, and maybe an opportunity here. And they could use one now, down by 3.
We're going to have to work on that.
Gallagher. Back for Hudson. Lane Hudson. Gallagher fighting for position below the goal line. Armia out of his reach, and Hudson hustles. He'll pick it up and start again. Lane Hudson, he'll maneuver and shoot it in. In comes Armia, watched by Carlo. Armia nearly brought that towards the net. He's got it again. Armia. Round the boards, Newhook. Hudson, back to Newhook. Newhook for Hudson. Lane Hudson at the line. He'll wait. Barré-Boulet. Barré-Boulet. Down to the goal line. There's Armia for Barré-Boulet again. Up for Newhook. Alex Newhook. Gallagher. And the pass, nobody home. Hudson's got to hustle back. It's all the way to Primo, allowing Boston the change. Final minute, second period, TD Garden. We'll have another have or have not edition here from Boston. Arpon Basu will join us. Great to have him back. Frankie Corrado will join us as well as we do our own little version of have or have not at intermission. There's Lindholm. Zadorov trying to clear. It comes to Caulfield. Cole Caulfield. Doc. Up top, Matheson. Suzuki. Mike Matheson. Caulfield. Matheson. Suzuki. Waiting, wrist shot in and out of the glove. As good screen in front by big Juraj Slafkovsky. 18 seconds left in the man advantage. Time winding down in the period. Doc's got space. Doc, across off a stick and high off the glass. He wanted Caulfield. Kirby Dach waiting. Caulfield, one-time drive right through the crease. Kind of ran out of real estate, and we run out of time. 1 second remaining in that penalty. A little pushing and shoving in front of Swayman through 40 minutes of play. And those two quick goals, Frankie, Pastrnak, Koepke, to make it 5-2.
And a little bit of a message from head coach Marty St. Louis as he starts his second power play unit coming out of a TV timeout, perhaps wanting a little more from the players involved in the first unit.
Game 2 for Montreal, our season debut of Molson Canadiens hockey on TSN. Intermission coming up next. Laura, Carlo have you covered.
And a big one kicking off week 19 tomorrow night. A winner, a tie, and the Argos are into the playoffs. A winner, a tie, and Winnipeg wraps up top spot in the West Division. It all gets underway tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, with our pregame show. Kickoff set for just after 8:30 here on TSN. And with that, we are at the second intermission now. Carlo and Laura back here with you once again. And the Montreal Canadiens with a little bit of work to do now, down 5-2 to the Boston Bruins. And look at something that Frankie and Brian have been talking about throughout the opening 40 minutes of this game, the energy level for Montreal, and a tough back-to-back to kick off this season. You know, 2 original 6 rivals. As I said, back-to-back games here, and you're kind of seeing the ebbs and flows when it comes to the emotion and the energy that they're bringing.
Well, early on in the season, this is kind of what you're going to experience. You're going to experience a range of roller coaster of emotions, and Montreal have experienced the highs and the lows. Last night, the highs of the opening night, getting a big win, and tonight you're seeing the energy levels just aren't there. They're fading as the game goes on, as we saw here with the 4th goal that the Boston Bruins scored. And then the things you look for with energy levels is guys' feet stop moving, fumbling pucks, losing their battles in front of the net. 53 seconds this game got away from the Montreal Canadiens, because up until that point, they were still holding on. They were doing some good things in the D zone, even though Boston dominated a lot of the time. But they found ways to keep them to the outside, found ways to make saves. But within 53 seconds, everything got away from them, and now they face an uphill battle.
And the Canadiens have had their opportunities, a couple more power play chances there in that second period. And when we're talking about the power play, again, something that Frankie mentioned as we were going to break here, the second power play unit starting for the Canadiens there at the end of the period, perhaps a signal from Martin St. Louis to get those guys going. When you think of the second power play unit and the quarterback there, you know, just a casual 20-year-old rookie, Lane Hutson, who I feel like this isn't the only time we'll be talking about him this season.
And you know what, Laura? That's what excites me, because every time you have something new, you get excited to watch it game in and game out. And for Lane Hutson, he's new coming in, but he has made a tremendous mark with this team so far in the season. What I love about him is he makes plays out of nothing. Goes in, nothing to do. He's got 2 guys on him. But then out of nothing, it's just a small pass into a quiet area of the ice on a guy's forehand. He makes it to Gallagher. Gallagher probably wants that back because he realized he probably had more time than not. But that's what I love about him. It's the poise. It's the elusiveness. It's the confidence that he has with the puck, because he's such a good skater that he evades players. When you think he's got nothing, he turns something into nothing like he did there. That's just a small example. He's already got 2 assists. It's only inevitable that they find a way to get him more ice time on that top power play unit with their top players. Because if he can make plays out of nothing like this, playing with 3rd and 4th line players, you wonder how much more he can create playing with top players.
And bringing that energy, which is something that the Canadiens definitely need here, as that third period is just around the corner. And when our intermission continues here on Molson Canadian Hockey on CTV. Carlo had his go at have or have not in the first intermission. Now it's the crew in Boston's turn. Arpon Basu will join Brian and Frankie next.
Is for the way.
You're watching the Habs on TSN.
And with the season getting underway yesterday for the Canadians and us having our first game here on TSN tonight, a lot of talking points, a lot of storylines as we look ahead to the season that could be for the Montreal Canadiens. We heard from Carlo in his installment of Have or Have Not. With more, let's send it back to Boston and Brian Mudryk.
This is a very special bonus edition of Have or Have Not. Usually we'd have Arpin's notebook. We're going to have you all season long. He didn't bring the notebook. Let's be honest, I can't even read the notebook.
I forgot it at home, yeah.
I can't read his notebook. But bonus edition, Have or Have Not. So let's go. You guys ready? We're ready?
Let's do it, buddy.
Okay, let's do it. Let's start with this. Nick Suzuki leads the Montreal Canadiens in scoring again this season. Have or Have Not?
Have. I think Nick Suzuki is going to touch 90 points this year. I got a real confidence that he's going to take another step from what he did last year.
I'm Have as well, just because of the sheer volume of all the minutes he plays, the power play minutes, and look, the goal for Nick Suzuki is to be a well-rounded player. It's also to be a high offensive player, and a point per game has to be in the mix for Nick Suzuki.
Juraj Slafkovsky last year got the bonus, 20 goals, pretty exciting. Juraj Slafkovsky, 70 points or more. Have or Have Not?
I went Have. I'm probably right around that number. 70 points is pretty high, but I think he could do it, and I think he really became a play driver on that line last year, and that's where I think a lot of his offense is going to come from. Bit of a slow start this season, but still, I think his play driving and the playmaking that he was doing towards the end of last year will get him to that number.
I'll say Have as well. We're only 2 games in, by the way, so it can't be that slow of a start. Yeah, but yeah. For Juraj Slafkovsky, it's all about progression, and last year the progression happened quick. When he got onto that line, things started to click for him. You give him a full season of playing with those guys, a power play that clicks a little better, 70 points is definitely in the cards for Slafkovsky.
Last year, the Montreal Canadiens were 6 games below 500. So here's the question. Is 500 hockey this season for the Montreal Canadiens, is that a step forward for this team? Have or have not?
Well, it is a step forward. I don't think it's a minimum for them. I mean, I go Have Not for that being like the standard for satisfaction. You need to see, and it's getting boring, I know, but like they need to progress in other ways that maybe aren't reflected in the standings. And I think I want to see a good power play. I want to see a better penalty kill. I want to see them defend. You know, I want to see them allow fewer goals. There's a lot of benchmarks that they have to hit. And if they hit them and still fall below 500, I think it'll be a satisfactory season.
I'm right in line with Arpin there. I guess Have Not would be my answer. Like 500 is great, but it's the things that get you to 500. You know, if you're not in the bottom third in goals for and goals against, like if you start to see tangible changes, that is considered a step forward, and maybe 500 is in the cards after that.
The last Have to win Rookie of the Year was Ken Dryden, so it's been a long time. A lot of talk about Lane Hudson. That's not the question, though. The question for Have or Have Not is, I'd like to keep you guys on your toes. The question is, Lane Hudson this year, 40 points or more. Have or Have Not? What's your number?
Again, I go Have Not here, even though I have him right at 40 points. But I think 40 points is a really high bar. I think he's going to get hurt at some point. Like, I mean, he's never played a schedule like this, so it's going to be tough for him to maintain some consistency and establish himself. So I think he'll get to around 40 points, but I think all the other circumstances this season might prevent him from getting to that mark. But if he misses it, it won't be by a whole lot, but I'm going Have Not.
Don't be a hater. I'm going to say Have to 40-plus points for Lane Hudson. And I've been talking a lot about Quinn Hughes and drawing some of the comparisons between when he stepped into the league and Lane Hudson now. Quinn Hughes had 53 points. Like, at some point, Lane Hudson is going to get some reps on the first power play unit. He's too dynamic to not be a player that gets 40-plus points in today's NHL as a rookie.
Arpin, Frankie, thank you very much. The notebook will be back, I promise. But in the meantime, an exhilarating edition of Have or Have Not.
2 in the books already this season. Great job, guys. When we come back, we've got more highlights for you as we check back in on the Leafs and the Senators. It's the former captain, John Tavares, making it 4-1 Toronto. Jersey would score with 5 seconds left in the period, though, to make it 4-2, which is where we stand in the early goings of the third. Back to the nation's capital, 2-0 Ottawa on top, but it's Gustav Forsling cutting into that lead. 2-1 Ottawa still on top in this, their first game of the season. Let's head to Buffalo, where the Kings were taking on the Sabres. No goals to show for it yet here in the second, but it's Alex Tuch shorthanded. Tuch's 9th goal against the Kings in his career. The Sabres, though, have scored to tie it up. 1-1 is where it stands there. How about the Red Wings playing host to the Pens? They've got the 1-0 lead in the first. Sidney Crosby, though, gets it to Anthony Beauvillier. Crosby with point number 1 in this, his 20th season in the NHL, and that one is also tied up 1-1. So now you are all up to date. As I said, it is a busy night in the NHL with 9 games on the schedule, and now you are all up to date. Of course, the only one not listed here, the one we're watching right now, as it is the Boston Bruins with the 5-2 lead over the Montreal Canadiens. And it was all Boston there in that second period as the Bruins start to pull away. Pastrnak scoring now in back-to-back games. He led the team with 47 goals last season, and those goals again coming just 55 seconds apart. One more period to go from Boston. So here again, Brian and Frank.
Laura, welcome back to TD Garden. And about a 15-minute drive from here, just south of the Charles River, is Northeastern University. That's where Caden Primo starred. Unfortunately, his first ever NHL start versus Boston. 5 goals on 23 shots, and probably not the night he envisioned when puck drop began about 2 hours ago.
Brian, you know the confidence is there. We saw it later in the season last year, especially on March 12th, where he had a 41-save shutout against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and you thought, okay, he's here, he's arrived, and now it's a tough situation on game 2. It's a back-to-back. You're in Boston. Your team's energy level is clearly dropped as this game has gone on, but there's been some bobbled pucks. There's been some moments of uncertainty, and you just want to see the confidence that he had in the latter parts of last year and not the uncertainty as far as where the puck is on any given shot.
Third period about to commence. One more second carrying over on the penalty to Charlie McAvoy, who's ready to come out. 5-2 Boston leads. And the shots, Frankie, just 11 for Montreal on Jeremy Swayman.
Jeremy Swayman's one of those goalies where you need volume. You need volume, you need bodies to the net. And 11 shots is not going to get it done on a guy that just got $66 million.
McAvoy out of the box, 5-on-5 underway here in this third period. And here is Charlie McAvoy at center. Pass across, Kastelik shoots, and off the stick of Primo, and stayed out. Josh Anderson, the other way, he'll stop far boards. Around for Suzuki, he'll leave. Lane Hudson, Caulfield, waiting, wrist shot, hit a skate, and goes into the corner.
And Marty's made some changes here. It's Josh Anderson playing with Caulfield and Suzuki, and Hudson playing with Caden Gooley.
Suzuki, backhand feed. Nice little bang-bang play intended for Josh Anderson. So the blender out here in the third period for Martin St. Louis. Gooley left shot. Obviously, he's done that before with Matheson playing on his offside. And out there with Hudson right now.
Here comes Juraj Slafkovsky. So he's now playing with Alex Newhook and Kirby Dach on the second line.
Slafkovsky, a little touch as Dach skates after it. Pavel Zacha for Pastrnak. Pastrnak and Barron. They meet below the goal line. Zacha goes to work. Slafkovsky reaching for it. Slafkovsky had it at center, lost the puck. Newhook tried to swing that across, and that was broken up. Zacha, he'll hand it off. Lindholm towards the net, wanted Pastrnak. Slafkovsky in his own zone. Juraj Slafkovsky, the backhand flip in. He'll chase after it. Montreal changing behind him, and Slafkovsky lining up the hit on Andrew Peeke. Little backhand from Gallagher, missed the mark. Brendan Gallagher for Xhekaj. Arber Xhekaj, wrister. And you talked about traffic. Jake Evans was in front, providing a screen. And that drive missed everything. Here's Armia. Armia, checked by Tufte. Up top, Savard takes the shot. Savard towards the net. And no screen, no problem, into the glove of Jeremy Swayman.
So Marty St. Louis not shy to send a couple messages here late in the second period. After a TV timeout, he sends his second power play unit out to start that power play. And now to start the third period, it's Juraj Slafkovsky moving down to the second line. So another little message sent. And here's the thing. When you've shown that you can do it, everyone expects you to do it. And Juraj Slafkovsky has shown that he can play to his frame, 6'3", with some physicality, with a good motor. And now through almost 2 games, I would imagine Marty St. Louis wants to see a little more of that from him.
Habs win the draw, wrist shot just wide as Xhekaj let it go. Savard keeps the play moving. There's Armia, 1-on-2 in the corner. David Savard takes a look. He'll work it in deep again. Brandon Carlo there. Charlie Coyle in the corner. Checked by Evans. Turnover in front. Gallagher off the post. Gallagher trying to double down in this game. A good look off a turnover. Evans. Armia. Veteran line here going to work for Montreal in this third period. 3 minutes gone. Played up the right wing. Marchand hands it off. Coyle, space, in, shoots, and he rings one off the pipe. Pipe at back-to-back chances for both sides, and both stay out.
Too easy for Boston to get through this neutral zone as Montreal has a lapse in coverage, and Caden Primo gets bailed out by the post. Brad Marchand just lays this into an area for Charlie Coyle, and watch as he shoots that in stride. Never breaks stride, skates right into it. That's a really nice release. He's able to beat Primo, doesn't beat the crossbar. Remains 5-2 for the Bruins.
Lindholm, Dvorak wins that one. Hudson, little flip to the right side. Dvorak has Kapanen with him. Dvorak throws it in. And that deflects out of play. Face-off will come outside of Boston territory.
The thing about a night like tonight, you know, you can call it a scheduled loss. No one in the dressing room is going to think that way. And at some point for Montreal, when they try and, you know, climb the ladder, having the belief that you can walk into Boston on a second half of a back-to-back and beat that team, that's going to go a long way. You have to have that. Teams aren't just going to let you beat them, and they're not just going to fall off when it comes to the Atlantic Division. At some point, you have to start taking it.
Back for it, Lane Hudson. Christian Dvorak to the young blue liner, Hudson. Through center ice, over the line, Hudson. He'll hand it off. That wrist shot off a stick and high and wide. Picked up by Barré-Boulet. Dvorak. Dooley, backdoor feed. Secondary try, and Barré-Boulet was upended by Zadorov. Montreal trying to find a little push here in this third period and claw within 2.
Well, it's an offensive zone sequence that really all starts with Lane Hudson and his entry into the zone. He does a nice job of getting the middle of the ice, and you got to look at Barré-Boulet, who a slick passer. He executes on a lot of his passes. That's the one thing that really stood out about his game during the preseason, and been a big producer in the American Hockey League throughout his career.
Yeah, was second in the American League a couple seasons back in scoring. Former CHL Player of the Year in junior as well. And a hooking call coming up. Trying to figure out the guilty party. And it looks like it will be Cole Caulfield going to the box for the hook.
So in a game that has gotten a little sleepy for Montreal, it's Boston now with a power play chance in the third period, and a little time for Montreal to iron out some of the kinks on their penalty killing.
McAvoy already a power play goal for Boston in this game. Gallagher and Caulfield, the goal scorers for Montreal in this one. And the clearing attempt, look out, right to Zacha, in, and Primo. No whistle, puck still loose. Primo thought he had it in the pads, now he does. And play whistle down.
Well, Primo does a nice job of making sure that he's able to cover that puck up. It's Pavel Zacha who brings it right to the net quickly, and Primo's looking for it. He thinks he has it, but he eventually gets his blocker on it. It's a failed clearing attempt by Mike Matheson that hits Elias Lindholm. It's unfortunate. Puck stays in Boston's zone.
McAvoy loads up in and out of the glove as Primo got enough, and then he had a quick glance at the glove. Able to keep it out. Marchand, cross-ice feed. Zacha, oh, he fanned on it. Open net, and he fanned on it. What an opportunity right beside Primo. Good passing from Boston. Pastrnak weaves in, tried to center, off the paddle of Primo. Zacha keeps it moving, gets it back. Marchand. Brad Marchand works it down low, gets it back. Marchand, Pastrnak swung it over. Matheson there. Poked it away from Lindholm. Elias Lindholm under pressure. There's Zacha. Marchand waits. Pastrnak, one-time bomb, and it was blocked enough. Dvorak went wide. Marchand one more time. Marchand waiting. Pass intended for Lindholm and swung away by Dvorak as Brad Marchand. 401 career goals. Next would be 402, and that would tie the great Rick Middleton for 4th all-time in Bruins franchise history. Good looks in the power play there. Caden Gooley back. There's Charlie Coyle, takes him down. Hampus Lindholm starts the play. Morgan Geekie and Gooley the steal. Little backhand. And under 20 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Cole Caulfield.
When that first unit for Boston is on the ice, it's so difficult to mark where David Pastrnak is. He doesn't stay in one spot. The whole power play runs through him.
Charlie Coyle round the net. Few seconds remaining in the penalty. Time winding down. Frederick, one-timer, and it came right to Primo. Caulfield's out of the box, so 5-on-5 hockey with 13:50 to go here in period number 3. Shots 27-14 Boston, and the Bruins lead by 3. Time now for the electrifying save of the game, brought to you by the Polestar 2. Experience pure electric performance for yourself.
Well, Jeremy Swayman has 66 million reasons to be playing this game, and as he does play this game, he makes a great save on Nick Suzuki. Man-to-man, stares him down, gloves it down. Jeremy Swayman having a nice game.
Well, the Florida fans during that loss in Florida, remember, were chanting, "We want Swayman," at one point in that game. But he got paid. And he's done the job thus far. Montreal not really testing him, though. Just the 14 shots so far in Jeremy Swayman tonight. In comes Kirby Dach with Newhook. So it's Slafkovsky, Dach, and Newhook. Newhook, good passing. Backhand try. Swayman got the left pad out and able to hold it down. His best save of the night. Good passing, though, by Montreal. Dach was there, and Swayman stuck right with him.
We may have done the electrifying save of the night a little too early, Brian.
Correct.
A nice save by Jeremy Swayman, and we have a penalty. Well, sounds like it's Charlie McAvoy going to the box for Boston, but Jeremy Swayman does a great job. Doesn't quit on this play as it's a shot that's fanned on. It ends up going onto the tape of Dach, and he has Swayman beat, but he jams it into the side of the net. Swayman gets there. And then the penalty on the play afterwards is Charlie McAvoy. As he's on top of Swayman, he knocks the net off. And so now Montreal on the power play with 13:25 left to go in the third period. It's the first power play unit on the ice, and with something to prove to their head coach.
Martin St. Louis running the power play this year as well, as Alex Burrows now in a player development consultant role with Paul Byron for the Montreal Canadiens. Good clean win back to Caulfield, so the Habs control. Matheson. Dach gave it away to Coyle. Oh, but he got it right back. Good job, Kirby Dach. Caulfield. Matheson. Dach down low. Tenacious on the puck. He's got it again. Here's Kirby Dach. Far boards for Montreal. Slafkovsky sets up in front. Dach still with it. Watched by Lindholm. Hampus Lindholm watching him, and Lindholm has it. And second effort, he'll clear.
You contrast between the Bruins power play and the Canadiens first unit tonight. Bruins power play is moving the puck fast, crisp on the tape, and it's stagnant right now for Montreal with this first unit.
Zadorov on Dach, and that gets the crowd going here at TD Garden. And a clear by Boston as Zadorov, big physical player. He's done that since he's come into the league. And remember, for Kirby Dach, Frankie just has not played a lot of hockey. Getting your timing back, your reps back in at an NHL level. Just the 2 games last year, the injury, and trying to find his stride and get off to a good start, which he has here in this campaign. Here's Newhook. He'll hand it off. Pass across, Barré-Boulet. Barré-Boulet. Lane Hudson works it across. Gallagher is set up in front, causing some havoc in front of Swayman. Pass across, Barré-Boulet. Lane Hudson. He'll dish it over. One-time drive right on. Good setup for Yoel Armia, and Swayman was ready.
That's a little more decisive, and it starts with Lane Hudson at the top. Quick puck movement, and then everyone else on that unit feels like they have to move the puck a little bit quicker, and it ends up with a shot by Armia.
Hudson trying to go coast to coast as he walks it in, sent down the ice, and that'll do it. McAvoy's out of the box, 5-on-5. 11:20 to go in the hockey game. Kapanen backhands it in. In comes Josh Anderson. Kapanen, Anderson, Dvorak up front right now for Montreal. And it's Gouli and Barron paired up. Here's Kapanen. He'll dish it off. Rashad Anderson hit the side of the pipe and goes out. As the Boston faithful serenading the Montreal Canadiens.
So in a situation where Kapanen comes into the lineup and Heineman comes out of the lineup, you lose a little bit of speed not having Heineman, but you hope that you gain some playmaking ability. There's the hit by Zadorov on Kirby Dach on the power play, and Zadorov's a big customer. Not that Kirby Dach isn't, but that's what Zadorov's game is all about, and it's why the Vancouver Canucks traded so much to get him last year at the deadline, and it's why he's signed a nice deal here in Boston, 6 years, $5 million per year.
Zadorov actually scored his first NHL goal versus Boston. Came in as a rookie and led all. Defenseman score! Seeing eye shot from the blue line. Caden Gouli let it go.
looked to be deflected in front, and Montreal's got life here in the third period. Josh Anderson has the tip, and a big goal for Anderson, his first of the season.
Josh Anderson hit a post early in this game, and you talk about guys that need to get off to a better offensive start this year. Josh Anderson is one of those guys. Does a nice job pushing in on this faceoff, and as Kaiden Guhle walks the line, it's just a sifter of a wrist shot to the front of the net. Anderson gets just enough of it to deflect it downwards. Swayman can't track it. Nice job by Guhle and Anderson, and Montreal's within 2 with 10:55 left to go in the third.
Big boost for Montreal, and a massive one for Josh Anderson, who's got his first. He's on the puck at the blue line again. So Montreal within 2, third period, and a lot of hockey still to play. Kaiden Guhle spun around by John Beecher. Pastrnak picks it up. Watched by Suzuki. Pastrnak trying to shake him off. Suzuki steers it away from him. Carlo jams it back for Pastrnak for Zacha. Pavel Zacha to Carlo, and he puts it right back in. There's Pastrnak, again met by Suzuki. Guhle helping out. Hudson picks up the puck. Carlo. Down low, pass in front for Pastrnak, and they couldn't pass it clean to him. Pastrnak doesn't give up on the play, but Montreal has possession up for Caulfield. Carlo. And again, the giveaway, Marchand right to Lane Hudson. Guhle. Back to Hudson. He'll play it up the right side. There's a turnover, though. Geeky wrist shot. Primo kept it out. Play to the line. McAvoy. Zadorov. And that shot, spinning one from Geeky, never made its way through. Charlie Coyle towards the net. Bouncing puck. Guhle there. Trying to take it away from Geeky. Geeky, Zadorov, big blast, and that one blocked by Newhook. Flipped down the ice, Slafkovsky tracking. Juraj Slafkovsky barreling in. So Oliver Kapanen picking up an assist on the goal. Right now they're awarding it to Kaiden Guhle in the building. So Kapanen, Evans the assists. We'll see if they change that. Players usually know.
Yeah, that'll change. But it's a big face-off win.
Wrist shot wide of Swayman. Matheson towards the net, a quick strike into the glove of Swayman. So for now, Oliver Kapanen in his NHL debut has his first point and assist. And we'll see if they change the official goal as the man on the bench looks on. They'll figure it out. Boston up 5-3. Tonight's High Performance Part is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts.
A highly coveted player last year before the trade deadline, Elias Lindholm, signs with the Boston Bruins in the offseason. 7 years, $7.75 million, has a a nice assist, winning a faceoff on the Charlie McAvoy power play goal, scores his own goal off a nice redirection from Nikita Zadorov, and Elias Lindholm proving to be money well spent early on in the season for Boston.
Was the youngest Swede to ever score in the National Hockey League. Elias Lindholm, time with Calgary, Vancouver last year, and the big contract, as you mentioned, now in Boston. Here's Brendan Gallagher, driving play into the corner. Montreal not going away, trying to crawl back into this hockey game. And icing charge versus Boston.
You know, you play a lot of games where maybe you don't feel your best or you don't feel like you should have won the game. But if you keep it within striking distance, you never know what can happen. A puck can have a bad bounce off a stanchion. It can sneak past a goaltender on a weird deflection. Like, you just have to find a way to keep things manageable when maybe you're not having your best night.
Face off to the left of Swayman, 8:33 to go. The Bruins game one of a 3-game homestand. They'll host the Kings Saturday. Barron loads up, that was blocked. Good job by Kastelik. Anderson at center, back for Matheson. Matheson was third in NHL ice time per game last season, over 25 minutes per game for Mike Matheson. Plays in all situations for Martin St. Louis. Matheson on the puck right now. Caulfield over the line. Matheson reaching for it. Look out. Took a big hit. And Boston starts up the other way. Brazeau, wrist shot. He missed. So Brazeau with the hit on Matheson, able to start that play, but couldn't cash in. Carlo back. There's Caulfield. Caden Gooley the backhand for Caulfield. Suzuki in the corner. Lane Hudson picks it up. Hudson behind the net for Suzuki, up for Gooley. Caden Gooley just holds it onside. Hudson. Suzuki. Suzuki creates a little space for himself. Nick Suzuki. Gooley, wrist shot, and that was deflected just wide. Caulfield's lost the stick. He'll collect it. Gooley tried to hold the zone, and it comes to center.
Well, there's another tip. It looks like it's Josh Anderson again. So big body power forward after a season where he struggled offensively, making it more of a point to go to the net.
One-time drive. Hudson, rebound available. Slafkovsky backhand, side of the net. As Lane Hudson, a great look. And then Gooley got taken down. Brazeau having a physical game. He's on the puck, sends it across. Zacha waits. Cross-ice pass. Brazeau still with it. And finally, chipped away from him as Brazeau, a great shift, and Newhook trying to turn on the speed. Newhook waiting for help, his teammates changing. Newhook again, second effort, try to work it in deep, right to Wotherspoon. Justin Brazeau with a great game for Boston, nice shift there. Kirby Dach trying to walk in, comes to center. When you talk about, Kirby Dach not playing a lot of hockey, Caden Gooley, remember, had the appendix taken out, didn't really have any training camp at all. Had the one preseason showing versus Ottawa, and then steps into the lineup, and Caden Gooley hasn't missed a beat.
No, and he just one of those guys that never looks like he's phased. Even when he was a rookie, stepped right into the league. You make a mistake every once in a while, able to shake it off.
There's Marchand, got the crowd buzzing a bit. Brad Marchand, he'll drop it off. Pass in front, Marchand couldn't get the shot off. Yeah, Gooley also enjoying his contract extension for the Montreal Canadiens. In comes Jake Evans. He'll drive play in. Evans, backhand feed in front, turned something out of nothing. A nice little rush by 71, Jake Evans. Mike Matheson. He'll coast in. Matheson, nice little pass to himself. He tried it off the back of the net, nearly worked. Good hit, Barron, but skating right through it was Zacha. Barron again, a good physical hit that time on Morgan Geekie. Kastelik lays the body in the corner. Some physical hits right now here at TD Garden. Bodies flying. Boston leading 5-3, 4:56 to go. It's game 2 of the season for the Montreal Canadiens.
Molson Canadiens Hockey on TSN is brought to you by Molson. Whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it.
One of the areas you can really see a tangible difference if things are going to be different for the Montreal Canadiens this year is the second game of a back-to-back. It wasn't great for them last year, 1-11-1, and they're the second youngest team in the NHL. So you can't have the excuse that it's old guys that are worn down. These are young, fresh legs. That is an area that has to improve for the Montreal Canadiens to take a step forward this year.
Face-off won by Zacha. Under 5 to go here. Third period, TD Garden. Zadorov all the way back for Boston. He collects the puck first. Gave it away. Gallagher all alone. Gallagher backhand. And what a stop, Swayman. Bailed out his defenseman Zadorov with a big save.
Well, there's your bounce. Puck goes off the official right onto the tape of Gallagher, and Jeremy Swayman keeps it out.
Armia pumps it back in for Gallagher. He's had a strong game. He cuts it again with Evans. Jake Evans. In front. Gallagher score! Second of the game. Brendan Gallagher, and don't go anywhere. Montreal within 1.
It's been a strong game for Brendan Gallagher. He's been in on the forecheck. He's been in and around the puck a lot. And Nikita Zadorov's stick breaks, so he has to drop it. He cannot make a play on this puck, and Brendan Gallagher is going to take full advantage of that. See Zadorov without his stick in front of the net. He can't get his foot on the puck quick enough to impede it from getting onto the stick of Gallagher. And Gallagher, who had a good opportunity earlier in this shift off a nice bounce off the official. Swayman made the save the first time. He doesn't make the save the second time. And with 4:17 left to go in the third, Montreal's within 1.
2-goal night for Brendan Gallagher, 5-4 game. And Montreal's got a spark they were looking for. Here's Caulfield. Looking for it. Played away from him. Cole Koepke takes the body check, but he gets it in deep. Kastelik tries to center, score! Kastelik banks it in, his second of the game, and just like that, Boston leads by 2.
Mark Kastelik, all he's trying to do here is send this puck across the crease. It ends up going off the blade of Caden Primo and up and over him. This is a goal that cannot go in at this point in the game for the Canadiens. Justin Barron tries sliding to block the pass from going across. It goes under his leg, off the stick of Primo, and behind Primo and into the net. And Mark Kastelik has his second of the night, restores Boston's 2-goal lead.
Slafkovsky off the draw, right on Swayman. He stops that. 2 goals, 17 seconds apart, and look out. Here's Coyle to come again. Coyle, backhand feed. And a good job, Barron closed him off, and made sure he didn't get a pass across to Brad Marchand. Justin Barron in for Slafkovsky. Coyle takes the body, can't clear. Matheson's got space, walks it in front, Swayman. And Swayman was hit by Zadorov, his own player. He gives Kirby Dach a shot, who's parked in front. Dach in the corner. Round the boards, Matheson. Mike Matheson, Kirby Dach behind the net. He's got some time there and space. Dach up for Matheson. Matheson. Wrist shot. And Primo was ready to go to the bench for the extra attacker. And Marchand flips that out of play.
There's another shot by Mike Matheson that gets blocked at the blue line right as Caden Primo is trying to make his way over to the bench. Hasn't felt comfortable for Primo at all in this game. Some bobbled pucks, not finding it around the crease, and as your team gets you within one and a chance to tie this thing up in a game where it seemed like it's out of reach, you let in a goal from the side of the net that goes off your stick and in. A real bizarre play that really shouldn't go in.
Boston, number 63, minor penalty, delay of game.
And this is interesting. They're giving Brad Marchand a delay of game penalty because he shot the puck out of play, but he was in Montreal's zone when he did so. So right after the block, there it is. Like, he's not even trying to keep that puck in play, which I wonder why he would be doing that. You can just put it into the corner or try and eat it. You don't have to fire it out of play. I don't know if I've ever seen that called before, Brian.
And now Jim Montgomery wants an explanation, as does Brad Marchand, for that matter.
Regardless, the Canadians will take it. Caden Primo's out of the net. Extra attacker for Montreal is none other than number 48.
6-on-4. Primo on the bench. Here we go. Montreal down by 2, trying to come all the way back. Matheson. He'll work it across. Hudson down low. Pass for Dach, bouncing around. Picked up by Hudson. To Matheson. Matheson, wrist shot off a stick, missed the mark. And Hampus Lindholm fired it towards that empty net, and he missed. But obviously they're killing off the power play, so it's free game on that open net for Boston. Here's Hudson. Hands it off. Caulfield will drop. Up for Matheson. Kirby Dach. Hudson. Lost it. Hampus Lindholm again. Oh, kept it nicely by Matheson. Suzuki. He'll wait. Matheson takes the shot. One-time drive, and Hudson had some net, but he missed. Looking for his first career goal, and he was close there. Kirby Dach on the puck. In his skates. Lost it. Flipped up high. Here's Lindholm, and he can't get there in time to tuck it in that empty net. Elias Lindholm, pinned by Suzuki, under 2 minutes to go. 5-on-1 in the corner, and Montreal will possess the puck.
Well, Lane Hudson had all kinds of net as Jeremy Swayman was down and out, not able to find the gaping net.
Oh, Zadorov tried to line him up, and Hudson a good job to avoid the check. Puck down the ice, and Coyle couldn't cash. Matheson poked it away. Slafkovsky starts the play. And the pass hits Coyle. Slafkovsky racing after it. Zadorov was all over Hudson again, but Montreal has the puck. Matheson for Dach. Puck battle near boards. Suzuki. McAvoy. Here's Coyle. Empty net. Little flip. And play whistle down with the open net with 1:01 to go. They're going to call it offside. That would have sealed it for sure.
Well, this six-player unit for Montreal has been on the ice a little while now, but the puck movement with the goaltender pulled has not been overly clean. And then Matheson takes a run at Charlie McAvoy. Maybe at a different point in the game, that might be a call. It doesn't get called this time, and John Beecher's trying to keep himself onside, ends up going offside, and a little deliberation about where the faceoff will be. Looks like they're going to bring it to center ice, but second unit comes on for Montreal. Primo's back in the net, and the puck movement just has to be a little more crisp, a little more decisive. You can't have full possession turnovers like we saw towards the end of that shift.
And just offside, hence the goal, or it would have been an empty net goal. So 6 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Brad Marchand. Primo back in his net. Gallagher 2 goals in the game. He's got 1 career hat trick. Mark Kastelik just 5 goals all last season. He's got 2 in this one, and he's never had a hat trick in his career. Final minute, Primo went halfway to the box. Gallagher starts the give and go. As now Primo to the bench. Extra attacker out again for Montreal. That shot in tight. Newhook backhand try. Follow-up. Puck still loose. And it's swept aside as Marchand obviously out of the box, and he'll clear it to center. Armia trying to drive play in. Lost the puck. Marchand gave it away to Newhook. 30 seconds remaining. 6-4 game. Josh Anderson with Gallagher. Brendan Gallagher, little backhand, kicked aside by Hampus Lindholm, and he got punished by Anderson. Bure-Boulet works it into the near corner. There's Gallagher, fishing for it. Picked up by Yoel Armia, towards the net. New hook shot, a wobbler missed. Bure-Boulet picks it up, 10 seconds left. Up top, Barron, stick shatters. Empty net available, and that should be icing. And will be 3.6 to go, and a late push there by Montreal.
Well, the 6 players on the ice for Montreal this time around, moving the puck a little more crisp. They get a shot loaded up at the point for Justin Barron, and his stick goes flying, breaks in half. And Alex Newhook had a good opportunity earlier in that shift. Jeremy Swayman didn't see it. Plenty of traffic in front. Montreal with nothing to show for it with the goaltender pulled. 3 seconds left in the third.
Boston will improve to 1-1 on the season. Montreal will also be 1-1. Next up for the Habs, Ottawa at the Bell Center Saturday night. One last drive, Josh Anderson and Swayman got a piece. And in his first game, home opener, TD Garden, a win for Jeremy Swayman. They hang on and take it 6-4 against the Montreal Canadiens.
It was going to be a tough task for the Canadiens. It's a back-to-back situation. Boston was sitting here. They played on Tuesday. Their #1 goaltender, Jeremy Swayman, back in the net. All the energy of the home opener, all the energy that the Habs had last night in their game, Boston would have been feeling that. The energy was good to start the game for the Habs. It tailed off at moments, and they found a way to make it close. Ultimately, it's an untimely goal given up by Caden Primo.
And here's your Molson 3 stars of the game, and one of the new Boston Bruins having an impact. Well, both of them actually, Kastelik and Lindholm.
Well, there's your 2 centermen that come into the fold. Mark Kastelik, your 4th-line center, involved in the trade for Linus Ullmark, has 2 goals tonight. Brendan Gallagher was the best Hab tonight, had a number of other chances. He has 2 goals, and Elias Lindholm, your #1 center, your big acquisition in the offseason, a goal and 2 assists, helps propel the Boston Bruins to a 6-4 win over the Montreal Canadiens.
In his first National Hockey League game for Oliver Kapanen, he picks up an assist, but not the victory. 6-4, your final for Boston. Molson Canadiens hockey returns Thursday. Kings, Habs back at the Bell Center. We look forward to bringing you that coverage as the Montreal Canadiens now 1-1 on the regular season. On behalf of all of us, thank you for watching our coverage here from TD Garden, and we say goodnight from downtown Boston.